no one knows. We're going down. We're going down. We're going down. We're going down. Do you dare to follow me down? Head into the unknown.
Good day, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am not going to do the romper room welcome today. I'm just not. I have Sunny here, and that's much more important. How are you doing, Sunny?
I'm good. I'm glad I met you in real. And
Yeah. Haven't
Harley?
done a live stream since then. What the
no,
hell?
I was planning on it. I just gotta say this. So I was planning on it, but honestly, when I got back, and I've been like, my feet have been in a lot of pain underneath like the bottom part. But anyways, I was so exhausted, and I just couldn't bring myself to do a live. It's not that I didn't want to, but I was just so exhausted, Charmaine, and I just wrote it. And then I know that there was like a lot of drama, and I was just like, I just don't feel like, I have to feel it in my heart to do something. And this pissed me off enough, of course, that of course I wanted to do a live with you, and I'm glad we're doing a live, and we'll get into
Absolutely.
this part. But Jack and Lily, prayers, and
Absolutely.
hey, everybody. But nice to meet
Yes, it was. It was really nice to meet you. I enjoyed meeting you, and I enjoyed meeting husband. And you can't see it. It's a little dark because of the time of day, but I have your dinosaur and your unicorn behind me here. I always do every live stream. It's behind me.
Yeah, mine are back there, and I saw you show them on a live as well, and that.
Yes.
So yeah, and gave from Cheryl, of course, W there. Your pens and stickers and stuff like that, and she's just been. She even sent me more things. Thank you, Cheryl.
Oh, really? Yeah, did she?
Yeah. I think they're wristbands and a couple more pens, and yeah.
Oh, cool.
I gave my sister one when I was up there. But anyways, nice to see you guys. You can hardly wait to talk about this, by the way.
Yeah. So I do know where Cher Care's got all of her stuff. She pointed me in the right direction, and I just ordered a whole bunch of stuff for Darius because he's got his 1-year vigil coming up next month.
Yeah.
So we can, if we need to, we can continue ordering Jack and Lily stuff too to give away and keep their faces out there. Faces out there. We can wear the bracelets. We can wear the shirts. We can do all the things that we expect people to do when they're actually raising awareness.
I was really just disappointed that Maleyha in her interview didn't thank all the people that have been keeping the awareness out there for her children. I was like, honestly, I was like, wait, where's that part? Oh, wait, no. Too busy, dissing true crime and stuff like that. I get part of it. But, how about the big thank you for everyone that's been, following this case and keeping their name and faces out there and their voices, right? And Belinda,
Right.
I want to say Belinda, Chelsea, and all you guys, Melissa, you guys, love you guys. And I'm glad to be here and see you guys again. And yeah, I'm ready.
Absolutely. So before we get started with the interview, so Sunny is a co-host, and she's going to be handling the video because everybody knows my sound is for shit. So, and then afterwards, I will read the Globe and Mail article that came out at the same time. But before we get started, I just want to read this because I had a lot of people ask what Maleyha is wearing here, land back. Like, what exactly does this shirt, hoodie represent? And to me, if just for me, if I was talking about my missing children, I would be dressed to to advocate for my missing children. But that's just me, and I'm not judging Maleyha for it. However, I think it's important that we know what this message is, that land back hoodie that she is wearing here. And my Google machine told me the Land Back movement is an Indigenous-led grassroots campaign aiming to restore Indigenous political authority, jurisdiction, and land stewardship over ancestral and unceded territories. It seeks to dismantle colonial systems, revitalize Indigenous cultures and governance, and ensure equitable decision-making regarding natural resources and environmental conservation. Indeed, a very, very important cause.
Right.
Grassroots movement.
Jack
Indeed.
and Lily are missing, but hey, let's put a land back sweater on
That's right.
instead of wearing the one that I think Cheryl and Haley and that all wore at the vigil about missing Jack and Lily.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the interview is about Jack and Lily, right? Not about the land back, but I guess that's what she's promoting, and the booty shorts.
Correct. Right. I wasn't going to go there quite yet, but
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
no, it is what it is. It is what it is. I mean, this picture that we've got pulled up here, not unlike the picture I used for the thumbnail, is eternalized now on YouTube, on CBC News, everywhere. And this is the message we choose to advocate for, non-verbally advocate for anyways. Did you want to get started on this interview right away, Sunny? And then, because it's gonna take a while. I wonder if they're gonna release the long form one like they did with Daniel, or is this the long form one? Do you remember that?
I think that this is the long form one, to be honest, the 26-minute one.
Okay.
Yeah, on there.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
thank you so much, Helicopter Grandma. And I'm sorry, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And AJ, let me know if you want to come up. And with that, Sunny, go ahead.
Okay. So let's see here. And Helicopter Grandma, hello. It's Helicopter Grandma. And a lot of people here, you guys know that it's a fight for Jack and Lily. And you guys are not stupid people. You guys, understand BS when you see it and use your own brains. And what is it? We're at 14 months and 8 days.
No, I think we're 15 months and 8 days, aren't we?
May
Yeah.
to June, June to July, July to August. So, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Yeah.
I was missing. I don't know where my mouth was there, but 15 months and 8 days. Crap.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Let's see here. Video. Nope, that's not what I want to do, Charmaine. Share. Oh, is it still up there or where is it?
Yep. Yeah, it's right. It's
move
your. Yeah, it should be up there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Mm-hmm. Make sure the volume's amped up. I know you guys have watched this, but you know what? You can't get enough of watching, listening to this. Really, second interview. Besides the first one. Like I said, on May 3rd there, that was about it.
Well, don't forget, she did answer a few questions for you over Messenger, and then she wrote a letter.
Yeah.
And then she spoke a little bit through shenanigans.
Yeah. And all the stuff that she had sent Belinda originally. There's a few things we can get in with that as well. Okay, so, and of course, Charmaine, if there's something that I don't stop for at the time and you want to, tell me to stop, then tell me, okay?
I'm good. Like I can collect all of them because I don't think that there's a single syllable in here that I don't take issue with.
People who are close and know me know that I would never do anything to my children and that I love them very much.
Thank you for doing this. Maleyha, it's been more than 15 months since you've seen Jack and Lily. How are you doing?
Not good.
How do you spend your days?
Just one day at a time, surrounded by family and friends and support systems.
All right. This by support systems, is she talking about the different boyfriends that she's had throughout the time as well? besides the family and stuff like that, or going to the beach or acting like her kids weren't missing and getting all dolled up doing her nails. Like, again, I could probably pick apart this entire thing, and really it's thanks to her actions. And 15 months later, really? Sorry. You know what? Like I said, this whole thing to me is, I got a grievance with it all, to be honest. And it's my opinion. You guys, of course, can have your own. But any thoughts there yourself, Charmaine, or no? That's all I was thinking was, what's wrong? Yeah, you got your boyfriends that have helped you, assist you, with all this mourning and grieving that you're doing,
Yeah, I don't really have a whole lot on this part right here, other than exactly what you said. My main issue is when she gets into, like her trauma. And the first question that was asked, "How are you doing?" and her answer to that was not good. I don't know what I'm expecting, but not good is pretty
yeah,
is pretty like, don't expect me to get better anytime soon, guys. Don't expect me to, look for my kids anytime soon, because I'm just so traumatized.
yeah,
It's just that start to the interview to me was just like, oh, still not good, eh?
yeah.
Like, okay.
I just seen a comment where someone said, like, the shirts don't matter. I'm sorry. Go look at Seth Rogers for Sebastian Rogers and see what shirt he wears almost every single time you see him missing. Sebastian Rogers. You want to talk to me about somebody that literally oozes searching for his son? And we're talking over 2 years later, Sebastian Rogers, but that shirt, I'm sorry. It's kind of like Katie, the mom of Sebastian. It's like you show up to an interview and you couldn't even bother to like wear anything or hold a picture and stuff like that. That's how I see that. Whether or not another person takes that differently, I personally, again, think of it if it was your children. Would you be wearing a land back, or you're missing Jack and Lily? So it's just my personal opinion. But again, it's kind of like, I think of all these parents that have these missing shirts on for their children because they're truly trying to find out answers. And then I see this in an interview too. And it's like, I feel like it's like, when you're just kind of going to sit, out in the park, and well, not that this isn't outside, but, and you think that, for me personally, you think that for an interview, again, you would have something about the Jack and Lily on a shirt or something like that, a picture in your hand of the children. That's just my take personally.
No, I agree. I agree with you. Maybe it's not relevant, but in my opinion, and Sunny shares it as well. If you're truly advocating for your kids, why are you sending this message? And it's an important message, not to take away from it, but
Yeah.
it's not the purpose of this interview, I would hope.
Right. I'll hit play. And
Going to therapy regularly. I do a lot of art, and I see my daughter. We always plan everything that we can to keep my mind busy.
And I know we've heard others talk about Jack and Lily, and they've described them, but you spent the most time with them. What can you tell me about Jack and Lily?
Lily is a very bubbly little girl who always smiles and loves to pose for photos. She loves unicorns and LOL dolls and to dress up girly. She loves dresses. Just like me when I was younger, I was always wearing dresses. She always loved to pick out her outfits, and I would bring her some and she would pick them out. Jack loves bugs. He loves playing outside, digging for things. Anytime he got a new dinosaur, he was always excited. and loves those Dino Smashers. Those were his favorite. They were both always so happy.
And how were they with each other?
They loved each other. They hugged each other. They would say sorry to each other. Sometimes they would get in fights with each other, but they would always make up.
What do you miss the most about them?
Everything. Their laughter, their smile, their hugs, their smell. I think it's just when you're a mom, your children have a particular scent that you never forget. And it's just something that you know, especially when they're born and you're holding them in your arms. And it always stays with you.
And how were they with you? I've heard they were both very close with you in particular.
They were both mama's kids. They love their mom.
And you've been holding on to their things. You brought some with you today.
Yeah.
And you've still been buying things for them.
Yeah, I bought them Easter baskets and Valentine's Day stuff, their Christmas stuff, birthday stuff, unopened cards for them to open when they get home. I have everything. And I continue to get more because it's what helps me cope.
You're holding on to it so that you can have it there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For when they come home.
Can I just ask
we
a
can,
question real quick?
Yeah, I was just about to stop it there anyway.
I was wondering, like, when they come home,
Mm-hmm. When they
I
come
don't know
home.
what I'm. So, I don't want to be. What are you doing in the woods looking for them then? If you believe they're alive,
Absolutely.
I don't. I don't get the mixed messages.
Tons of them.
Yeah.
Mixed messages. Yeah. You know, but
And the trauma, the use of the word trauma, I feel like when she was talking to you over Messenger and she said he would pick on Jack and sometimes Lily, he held me down one time, and she didn't realize, in my opinion, she didn't realize that that could be considered abuse. That was, whatever. She didn't know at that time. So did she come to understand better what abuse was or what trauma was? Or is this something that she's heard and is repeating as like a really
Right.
good excuse for her actions? Do you know what I mean?
yeah. You
I
know.
don't know. That's just my thing. And yeah, we'll talk more about contradictions. What about you, Sunny? What do you think?
Yeah, well, I mean, especially when she was talking about, how the kids, they were always happy, but yet later in the, uh, of course, interview, she's not going to even talk about the home and anything like that. Again, if the home is so happy and healthy and vibrant and the kids are just, lying along, you have no problem talking about those things. But yet, later in the interview, she'll, in a sense, to me, contradict that because if the kids are so happy and all the stuff going along, why didn't you want to talk about it when she was asked a question about the home life and all that stuff, that was going on? But so this whole interview will be to me just a bunch of BS, mostly all of it, meaning just what seems to be more truthful and what the thickness of BS that I feel like is being laid on to us that most of us are not going to buy because we're not stupid. We weren't born yesterday, but anyways, I mean, there's a lot of that, as she gets a little, as the interview goes on. But, and then, I mean, just any of your thoughts, like just for the fact of, that she's buying all these gifts for birthdays that, like, again, Charmaine, why are you doing a search for the children if you believe that they're alive, but you're joining a search as if, they're obviously dead, because we already know that if they were in the woods, they would be dead. So if you believe they're alive, why, what are you taking part of that for then? Doesn't make sense.
No, and buying gifts is great and stuff, but that's how she copes.
How she copes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So if like, and I truly want to know, because I'm trying to make it make sense. So
Right.
what if they're not alive? What if they're not brought home and they can't open these presents? Like what happens then with all these toys that you're spending your money on? I don't understand how that would help you cope.
For me, like, just if I was, like I said, we're just looking at a case where we see the perception of what is being put out there, whether it's by Maleyha, Daniel, any other family member, and stuff like that. I don't care about any other YouTubers' thoughts for that stuff. Like, meaning, we're each going to have our own things, and about this case, regardless. You or Justin, any of us that are following the case and stuff like that. And I just, to me, the truth is right there, to me, still in front of our eyes. Nothing's gonna change. Like, I'm waiting for something to change my thoughts about this entire case and whatever. But honestly, it's just not. The inconsistencies between Maleyha and Daniel and stuff like that, it only adds to it, to be honest with you, about just even more the BS of it all. And I was going to say something else and I totally forgot, and I'm trying to remember, but I'm forgotten. It might come back to me. I was going to say something, Charmaine, but I forgot.
So Melissa, really? Let's just read this one. I will play devil's advocate here and say she would be ripped apart if she wasn't getting them some things. But no, I don't think she would. She's getting ripped apart because she doesn't show up to the vigils, and she doesn't post pictures of her missing children, and she doesn't actually publicly advocate for her children. That's what she gets ripped apart from. I could give two shits if she buys Lily 15 unicorn stuffies. That's not going to bring Lily home. What is going to bring answers is keeping their names and faces out there. And you can't sit there with a straight face, in my opinion, and say, I'm doing this to keep the awareness going, because you haven't done any of awareness raising at all, like zero, none. And keep their faces out there. Where are their faces? I know at some point in this interview, she has a stack of pictures that she flips through a little bit. That's not the same as having their picture up. It's just not. So keeping the awareness going. Thanks for your help, Maleyha. We've got it clearly, because you certainly haven't done it up till now. And this interview, in my opinion, is helping us have stuff to talk about. So awareness, okay. Keeping their faces out there? No, not really. Not unless we decide to pull a picture up.
To be honest, that's kind of exactly what it is, Charmaine. Is like, what was going through my head is, well, at least we got something to talk about again. I mean, honestly, I've always said this and I'll say it still. Anytime a family member's talking, relative or whatever, you should listen to it all, regardless if you believe it or not. Because again, the more information that comes out, the more obviously you can, again, either look at Maleyha, which in my eyes, this whole interview, I just see a very hollow person, and with no tear dropping down out of the eye. I see the eyes water, but it just to me, it's just like, not buying it. But hey, let's talk about it, because it's still about two missing children called Jack and Lily, which are her children, and that's who she's supposed to be representing. And for me, still, I think she is a far cry from a mother to Jack and Lily. So when she makes this comment, about how much, like she loves them in this, well, think about what Daniel said too. I mean, according to Daniel, I mean, he flip flops like a fish too, right? He's sitting there saying that he did everything and that you basically pushed the Jack and Lily away and all that stuff. And I feel like when she said that, I instantly went to what Belinda said, how Belinda felt about Maleyha when she was with Cody, and that she would never yell at the children, that, that she was meant to be a mother. And then she met Daniel. But again, I feel like just in general, life choices, most people, when they perhaps pick somebody that they shouldn't, they keep doing the same pattern. But in this case, the whole thing, well, we'll get into that part when she starts saying more things. But these two people called Daniel and Maleyha, they're the ones, okay? Jack and Lily are owed answers. Jack and Lily are owed the answers when Maleyha says that she doesn't feel like she owes people answers and that she's.
No, she doesn't. She doesn't owe anybody anything, but I would argue that she owes the public her gratitude for keeping her children's names and faces out there, because she hasn't been doing it. And absolutely, she owes Jack and Lily the time and energy that she's putting into keeping her mind occupied, or whatever the fuck she said. I don't even.
Yeah,
I don't even know.
Again, But anyway, do you want me to hit play again? Yeah.
Yeah, I need to go find some light.
Okay.
This is okay.
We go back to May of last year, May 2nd. What's the last memory you have of seeing or hearing Jack and Lily?
Hearing their laughter of them playing together in the bedroom and seeing Lily's face pop in the bedroom.
You laid eyes on Lily that morning.
Yeah.
And you heard Jack?
Yeah.
So when did you see Lily? Do you recall?
I can't recall the exact time.
Some.
Yeah, Maleyha. Remember, you said it was 8:20. I don't know how someone could possibly, their own mother, forget about 8:20, right? But let's go back to the Saturday, when when Belinda, and her sister were talking to Maleyha, and hadn't seen. Maleyha said to them that she hadn't seen Lily and Jack since Thursday night, right? And remember how even when I asked her, and the reason I specifically asked her about, did you hear them? And I didn't say, did you see them? Because there was nothing that ever told us, nothing that she ever said was that she seen them. We only seen that when the documents came out. But for me personally, I still feel like it's a scripted story that they've been trying to stick to when it came to what exactly happened. And then, of course, we're going to hear it again in this interview, right, that we just did about her seeing Lily. So when it happened, right, so why did she tell Belinda and her sister that she'd only seen Lily on Thursday night? So call BS again. And so who are you guys going to believe? Maleyha or Belinda? I'm going to vote Belinda every single time if I had the choice.
Absolutely. And I know a lot of people were wondering too about Belinda today and how she's doing. And obviously she's processing this, and she was invited to come up, and she might at some point, but need to give her space and time to absorb everything that she's hearing. But make no mistake, she's seen it over and over again. She's hearing all of the feedback from it, and she'll share her opinions as soon as she's ready. But again, she has been out here every single day since May 3rd. She has been looking for Jack and Lily.
Yeah.
But without skipping a beat. So when things like this happen, she needs time to, listen to it, absorb it, and then remember everything that's happened over the last 15 months that Belinda has been present for. So that's what I want to say about that. But whenever you want to continue.
Yeah, no, and just to clarify again, yes. So when Belinda and her sister on the Saturday, we're speaking to Maleyha. Maleyha said the last time she saw Lily was the night before on Thursday, right? So saying that she saw them at like 9:40 or whatever, blah, 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 blah. Well, Lily 8:20 and hearing Jack. Again, is it two people trying to cover their tracks and stick to this so-called timeline? Or what did Maleyha say to Belinda? Is that the truth there? And I believe so. Absolutely. But anyway, just to me, a bunch of BS.
After they woke up that morning.
Yeah.
And then what was the next thing that you remember of that morning?
Just waking up, seeing Daniel next to me, and I didn't hear them. And I woke Daniel up and said, I don't hear the kids. So we both went out, and then that's when we started looking for them. And that's how it all unfolded.
Yeah, that's how it all unfolded. It's just how it all did. Like, didn't you take away from this at all, Charmaine, the way she's just staring and slowly talking about it as if she really, it's almost like her mind's here thinking about probably the truth of it all. Who knows? But it's a very odd thing for me to watch her talk about this. And it's almost like dancing around, and just giving like those couple little, yeah. So basically after that, let's see, I woke up and I said, yeah, to me, it's just somebody with the truth in there, but what's coming out of here is not the truth. But I don't know. Go ahead.
Yeah. And for me, just my opinion, to play devil's advocate here, I think just from my observation, there is a level of, I think she's probably medicated. So she does say sometime in this interview that she can't sleep without her medication. And I would venture to guess she is always probably on some kind of antidepressant through the day. And I've been on an antidepressant. And because it made me so laggy and zombie-like, I took myself off of it. And I decided to actually feel my emotions so that I could grieve and properly, live my life. But I think that we're seeing, and I could be wrong, I could be wrong, but I believe that we're probably seeing somebody who's been medicated for depression or anxiety or maybe both. But when you have that and you're already lagging because of medication and you're trying to remember a potentially scripted story, that's going to make everything feel so disconnected. And that's just my observation. That's what I think and my opinion. I could be wrong, but I'd make an argument that I'm not wrong.
It's one of those things, like I said, at start, I always tried to look for how Maleyha for me personally, like, again, without us knowing the true answers, just how it could be that two people are in a home, a timeline that was like pulling teeth to try to get out, and we don't know, you know, nothing worth atom about where the truth lies, besides of times that they were seen the day before, and then the 911 call the next day. You know, other than that, it's just a matter of Daniel doing a lot of talking about it, right? Because anything in the documents that's not, you know, like, unless it's off of a text or something like that where there's proof. Other than that, anything, the truth can be very much different to what they're saying and stuff like that. And so it's not like the documents are gospel. It's just their own words of, you know, what they said at that time. Does it make it true? No. But there's certain information we know to be true, you know? And yeah.
Yeah, but the documents, and we talked, I don't know if you were watching the live stream. I know that you sometimes watch in the shadows or replay or whatever, but we were talking about the blanket being on Lansdowne Road, not Lansdowne Station Road, but in the documents it says Lansdowne Station Road, and it's not that the police are lying to people. I do not believe that, but I mean, people make mistakes. Mistakes do happen. So,
and it did in that, right? Like the Lansdowne Station Road. And when Haley said it, she said Lansdowne Station Road as well. And then remember Janie going, and Haley, just so you know, it's Lansdowne Road, not Lansdowne Station. But yeah, so that was, and I think another thing too is about the height of the blanket versus what was said to what was truth about that, the height, you know, of where the blanket was. And I believe that blanket was actually quite lower than what it was in the documents as well. But absolutely, can they get it wrong? We've seen that in Delphi and stuff like that, you know.
yeah, I mean, don't even get me started on Delphi, but I do think that some of that was purposeful. I really do. Yeah. So that doesn't even come close. But this here, Carla, I'm trying my best to watch chat, you guys. Everybody's got some good, you know, questions and stuff. But this Carla, Lily, I don't know. You should be able to.
No, my mouse is just doing the little salt and pepper thing over it. Like, you know, like a dog bone T, and then the bottom. Yeah, it's not letting me. Yeah.
That's odd. Lily came in at 8:30 to the bedroom, popped her head in twice. Then
8:20.
All of a sudden, everything went quiet. Where did you hear that? That's the first I've heard of that, because Daniel saw Lily pop her head in twice, and Maleyha was awake at 8:28 calling her mother, but Daniel didn't know that Maleyha called her mother at 8:28. So where did you get 8:30 from? I'm honestly asking.
Who are you asking? Because it's 8:20 in the documents, first of all.
Is that 8:20?
8:20 is in the documents. Yeah. You know how certain things, you know, certain things everyone remembers from the documents? That is 8:20.
What's with the number 20 with everything to do with this case? Yeah. 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there, 8:20. I don't know.
I know. Kent made that comment before about 20-minute, I think, block type of idea. Whoops.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. When was that today? That wasn't today. Tell me it wasn't today, Deborah.
Shan booted Belinda out of her live, really?
Not today. I don't think Belinda was going to speak up today, from my understanding, so it must not have been today.
Yeah, I was going to say, not unless Shan pissed her off or something. Okay. Well,
anyways, you can continue. I still have to go turn on another light. I don't know why everything is so dark in here. But I have to be careful because the fans, it'll be like...
Okay.
And then chaos ensued, basically.
Yeah.
Do you remember those hours?
The trauma is so severe to the point where, like, I block it out because it's hard to sit with it and sit with reality, and with no answers. I just don't know how it even happened. Or they should have been found that day, and an Amber Alert should have went out, and it should have never happened.
In hindsight, what do you think went wrong? You mentioned the Amber Alert.
Well, I asked the police for an Amber Alert, and they kept telling me it should have never happened.
Yeah. Thank you, Pinky. I don't know why I can't put anything up if I'm a co-host. I should be able just to click on these things as well, and it doesn't let me at all, which sucks. But thank you again. Thank you guys for everyone being here, supporting Jack and Lily, and being voices for Jack and Lily. You know, I know this is, just another, thing to keep talking about, which is a good thing. It's always a good thing to be talking about Jack and Lily. But Charmaine, apparently it did happen today, which honestly is, I'm sorry, but that's just disgusting to sit there. I'm sorry for anyone, to pick on Belinda. And, everyone has different opinions. And Belinda, again, why would you block the grandmother or boot the grandmother of Jack and Lily? It's just ridiculous. But so apparently it was today.
That's why. Wow. That's. I mean, I am speechless with that. That's fucked. Thank you so much to Pinky. I appreciate that so much. Thank you.
And Mayflower gave 10
Look at that, Sunny. She did it to both. So remember the last.
I cannot put it up on the screen though. That's.
I don't understand why.
Yeah. I can't. Anyways, I don't know why. I don't know. It's not like I've been like on your lives and sitting there using all these tools, but I should be able to. I mean, Melissa can do it, right? Yeah. You can do it on mine.
Well, when you made me co-host on yours, like actual co-host, like in the settings,
Yeah.
I wasn't able to join the chat. I think I could still pull comments up, but there was some kind of glitch with me. But Melissa does all of it, and you're both co-hosts. So yeah, I don't know.
Me neither, because I'm sitting there clicking on them and all. It just turns into the T-bone steak with the, like a big eye when I put my mouse over there. So I don't know. Oh well, roll with the punches. But all I'm gonna say is, if that's true, honestly, I think it's just disgusting. I love you, Belinda. Love you, Chelsea. Thank you so much for always being there for Jack and Lily and being their voices. And anyone that takes away from family members, like that are voices. Well, besides Darren Geddes, I mean, I blocked his ass because I got tired of his mouth. And, he's kind of like a distant one. But, yeah.
Real quick before you start playing this again, Ron, Mexico, today is not the day to advocate for Ian. Okay? I'm just going to leave it at that.
Through StreamYard, by the way. Yeah. You're through, StreamYard. Okay, I'll play more. Oh, but it should have never happened. Oh, yeah, right. That was my point right there. It never should have happened. You're right. It never should have happened. So at the minimum, bottom line is still, who was in charge of looking after Jack and Lily? Was it me? Was it you guys? Or was it Maleyha and Daniel? So it should have never have happened. You're right. So they had nothing to do with it whatsoever. It still happened because of you two. It's that simple. There's no, and this is where the accountability, right, should be coming in. Because of you two fuck faces, these two sorry, Charmaine. because of you two F faces. That not like YouTube does anything, to be honest. You're allowed to swear, but anyways, to a point. But it's because of you two that Jack and Lily are missing, regardless of what happened to Jack and Lily. It's all because of you two and all these resources that have been used to find answers for Jack and Lily. Look to yourselves. Jack and Lily deserve the answers, for this. So that gets me. It never should. Of course, it never should have happened, because if you were taking care of the children properly, according to you guys, well, I guess they're still alive somewhere, though.
Yeah, and that's another thing too, and I'm sure we'll get into it later on, but there's still a serious absence of any kind of accountability. Like, we get to hear all about what Maleyha is owed, but like, how did this happen? Is anybody other than Janie, because she has shown some guilt and some regret, but is anybody else capable of understanding that had they gotten up like a normal fucking parent, this would have never happened? It was completely avoidable if you just got up. Even if it wasn't your regular way of doing things, the kids should have been at school, blah, blah, blah. This is nobody's fault but your own, and I'm looking at both of them. Just my opinion.
Absolutely. Can I say one quick thing? I just want to interrupt this for a sponsor message here. Helicopter Grandma, you have been amazingly generous. Only because I've seen this message. How can I donate tonight? No, you've done enough, by the way. But I do want to just, if you don't mind, Charmaine, for when me and my husband went on our road trip, and this channel, this is what gets me. Actually, can I clear this up for 1 second? So when that bullshit BS came out, because somebody obviously wasn't paying attention to about the money, I was referring to, of course, Charmaine played it. I was referring to the money I made at my job before I lost my job because of the COVID, but it was a couple years later. So in 2024, when me and Charmaine, as she played, was having that conversation, again, my channel never monetized up until I was 2.5. And that's when I was like, oh, I can get YouTube ad revenue. My channel never goes out of the way. Neither does Charmaine go out of our way. Even Justin, we say thank you. We're grateful, but we don't sit there and ask for donations as a whole, right? Unless, like, Charmaine's done causes for Jack and Lily and stuff like that, and whatever. I had a little road trip thing. I put it up there in my pinned comment and stuff like that. But I really just wanted to say thank you for all those people that did donate for the road trip and helped out. It did help out. It's very costly in a lot of ways, for sure. But, that was one of the few times, and I never really promoted it. It was just, I put it kind of up in the pinned comment if someone did want to help out. So I just want to say just how extremely grateful that people can be so generous and stuff like that. But for all the people like Pinky, Helicopter Grandma, shoot, I don't want to miss not saying names, but those
Baby
Monkey, all the people that do, okay? Because I don't want to not include everyone, because whether it's a $1.99 donation or whatever, just know that, again, we're truly appreciative of it. But we're not a channels that sit there and go, you know what, we're here to profit off this and make money. So when Shenanigans put up that crap, and it's obviously she didn't do her homework, because back in 2024, what I was saying was that if I made $600 or $700 a month, and that doesn't include how much stuff I put out, and I said I made a little bit more at Christmas, that's what it was referring to. But instead, I don't know why that had to become a topic of conversation, because, when people cover true crime, I want to go back to saying this. When people cover true crime, there are people that are in it, maybe started off with okay intentions, and then it turned to greed for them and stuff like that. My channel, Charmaine's channel, people first. It's not about the donations. It'll never be about that first. If people want to, they can. they don't have to. But, it's one of those things is that it doesn't matter if you're covering a cupcake channel, a video game channel. Again, there's people that want to donate. They like following the channels. They want to support you and the different ways that they do and stuff like that. And then there's just pure greed out there by the clicks and views. But, I don't understand why these other channels are trying to sit there and talk about this business, about how much someone makes and where's it going. Again, I think that the people that do cover true crime that are in it for the right reasons, it's because it's about the people and the children, way before anything to do with their donations. First and foremost, I could be covering something that makes me happy, not the sadness of this. So it doesn't really matter what part of YouTube you're in, but people always want to say that they're, just doing clicks and views. When I'm talking about our channels and stuff like that, the people that know us know that that's bullshit. And the people that have to put that shit into their mouths and put it out there and stuff like that, what's the issue going on? Insecurity issues, jealousy issues. You're trying to make yourself look like the better person and make us look like shit. Sorry, it never works on me and it won't work on Charmaine. We're here for the right reasons and we know it and we don't have to prove that to anybody. So those ones that say that, kiss my ass, kiss every hair on it. Sorry.
Okay, and really quick before you get going again, Ron
Yeah.
Mexico would like you to. I assume he's referring to you as my sidekick, which is fucking amazing
We
because
can
I've
be
been your
sidekick.
sidekick for years. So thank you, Ron.
We got cups to prove it.
I'm
Yeah.
going to influence you to unblock Ron Mexico. Anyways, you can continue.
Okay. Okay, back to BS.
In hindsight, what do you think went wrong? You mentioned the Amber Alert.
Well, I asked the police for an Amber Alert, and they kept telling me one's going to be issued. And I'd go back another few minutes, and they would keep telling me the same thing. And I just kept asking, and all they sent out was that alert. And I don't feel like that was enough.
The vulnerable persons alert, which went to 2 counties, basically. Do you think that they're in the woods?
I don't know. I just want the police to give me answers on where they're at and bring them home.
How do you feel
So-
the RCMP investigation has been going?
Yeah.
She just said, so do you think they're in the woods? No.
And she's like, I don't know.
She said, I don't know.
I don't know.
Or did she say no? She said, I don't
She said,
know.
I don't know. Yeah. Can we play it again?
I mean, maybe.
I
I
feel
don't
like
know.
we heard it differently, but let's okay.
I don't know. It's kind of useless.
I was gonna say
Whatever.
well, I'll see if I can play it. Just
Which went to 2 counties, basically.
I don't know what time exactly it was.
Do you think that they're in the woods?
I don't know.
I don't know. See?
I just want the police to give me answers on where they're at and bring them home.
Why is
How do you
she
feel the
like
RCMP
gritting her
investigation
teeth
has been
when
going?
she answers that?
Because
What
it's
does
not-
the behavior panel say when they talk through with their teeth?
I know. I'll tell you right now, and it's only because I think I forgot. I believe Alexa's in Disneyland or Disney World, one of the two with her children. But as soon as I can get Alexa's butt on a live, I will. If you guys remember seeing Alexa, she was a criminal profiler, body language person, graphologist. But I really want Alexa's take on this interview. Just with her words. Alexa, she's like me and Charmaine and a Melissa there, just very blunt. It's not about sugarcoating or trying to, she just tells it like it is. So when she comes back, I definitely want to have Alexa on the live and discuss with her this interview. I've sent it to her, but I forgot she's away for August. But when I can, don't worry, I'll get her ass up here for sure. Okay, do you want me to hit play, or do you want to talk about her? It's
No, I barely want to talk about her now, but
Okay.
yeah, go ahead. Go
Okay.
ahead.
It feels like I continue to get the same update over and over, and I keep asking for new avenues, and they keep.
Is that the we're not going to tell you shit update? You know, is that the update you're waiting for? The we're not going to tell you shit update? Because obviously they're. Sorry.
I mean, she looks like she's in physical pain right there. Like she is. Sorry, I'm not sorry. She is laying it on some thick right now, like so thick. She's doing good. She thinks she's found her calling.
No, she hasn't. That's just it. It's transparent. Maybe she thinks that she found her calling, but no. And she's starting school soon. You know, and it's not because of her addictions or anything. You know?
No, and I mean, honestly, if she's going to be an addictions counselor, I think that her business card should have a fucking disclaimer on it. Anyways.
Okay, I'll hit play.
Saying we're working on it, and I just don't feel like that's enough. I feel like I deserve more than that, and I deserve answers on where they're at, and I need them home.
In terms of the evidence, we know that searchers found a cluster of boot prints, one child-sized boot print.
Hold on. Perhaps, Maleyha, if you guys gave them answers, you would have the answers. Is my thoughts on that? You know, you say that you're working with the police. Well, how hard are you truly working with the police? Are you guys giving them the truthful answers? You know, or is it just like I said? You know, trying to sell. It's like trying to sell ice cubes to the Eskimos. It's not going to happen for me on that one. All right. Oh, and the boot print. Here we come.
On the trail, believed to be the size of Lily's shoe. What do you make of that? And the fact that there was another footprint found in a recent search.
I don't know, because I don't think I could speak on that.
Yeah, this doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, let's stop that one there. No, we'll get to the blanket in a second. Charmaine, I mean, it's not like she hasn't talked about the boot print and, you know, messages near the start and different stuff like that, but don't think I could talk about that, actually. What do you make on that one?
I make that it was so insignificant, and she probably knows damn well that it doesn't belong to Lily or Jack, that she hasn't even kept up with any of the talk about the boot print or the cluster. So her like looking up there is her like, I don't have a fucking clue what you're talking about right now, so I don't think I can really talk about that. I think that's probably the most honest thing she says.
I was going to say, and that's exactly what it reminded me of. Like, I don't fucking have a clue, so I'm just going to go with this answer of, yeah, I don't think I can talk about that. Okay, and then, so now we're going to get to the blanket. Waiting for this part, too.
Same with the pink blanket. Do you want to talk about the pink blanket?
I don't even know how it even got there.
That was Lily's blanket that had been old and ripped apart?
Yeah.
And had been presumably in the garbage can, but made it onto a tree a kilometer away.
None of it makes sense, and I just demand answers.
What's your relationship with our...
Gotta talk about the blanket. Okay, now you guys always remember it's about Jack and Lily. That part is very serious. But when I'm sitting here listening to this, or Angela ask her about the blanket, you know, and then she goes to this comment like, "This none of it makes sense. I don't know how it got there." Really? So as you were agreeing that it was in the garbage bin, can you tell your friend Cheryl and tell Shanann and everybody else that you said it was on the rail of the back railing uh, of that for that blanket, that it actually wasn't in the garbage bin, that it was on the railing. But she's just sitting there nodding like a monkey, going, yeah, in the garbage, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I just can't make sense of it, Charmaine. Of course, I just can't make sense of how this blanket that Lily owned suddenly got into a tree. And but she sat there agreeingly nodding to the fact about the garbage bin, yet she's told that it was on the railing. So
Right. And it wasn't it wasn't shenanigans who broke that news. Cheryl
no,
told me that months ago, and then Daniel conceded that it very well could have been on the railing.
yeah,
And just really quickly, Shy, yes, absolutely. Parker that day needed supervision in his special needs day home, and they failed at that. So they absolutely neglected him that day, because had they not, I don't think he would have wandered away. Would he have? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
hmm um, just to go back to that blanket for a second. So the first time Cheryl brought that up was on Hidden in the Fog, and I knew that she was never trying to talk about Maleyha's name or say Maleyha's name, but the only place that even could have came from for her to say that it was on the railing was from Maleyha, and that and then it eventually came out that you know yeah, Maleyha said it was on the railing. But it's kind of like, well, two plus two, from before, because somebody wouldn't just make that up and go, oh, yeah, it was on the railing, unless it came out of Maleyha's mouth to know that that thing was there. But again, the whole blanket thing, of course, that blanket was planted there, didn't fly there by birdies, didn't fly out of a moving, garbage truck and stuff like that and land in there. I mean, that blanket, I can hardly wait till this case is solved, and some closure can happen to this, and some truth come out in that. I really wish I could zap them with tranquilizers and little truth finders there, tell the truth serums and stuff like that. But that blanket is one of the staple things for me of this case that absolutely tells me that this was not a crime of someone taking these kids off the property and going, let's just go in the garbage. And Daniel's been accusing Haley and different things along the way about her putting the blanket there, and then he went off on his spiel, of course, about that people were tracking the movements and knew that Jack and Lily and some traffickers decided to go in there, and they had balls and stuff like that. That blanket to me was simply planted there, and to me it was still planted there by the people on the property, and they know that, and I feel like they know that. Absolutely. Boss man's in the house. Hey, Brad. Okay. Yeah, that blanket thing though. Yeah.
What a bunch of crap.
What a bunch of- Hey, are you upstairs?
Yes.
Just
See,
noticing.
what had happened was, I asked Ian if I could start moving my stuff upstairs, and he said, sure. So I moved all my spring clothes upstairs, and I moved my computer stuff upstairs, and then I had to live stream that day with Belinda, so I couldn't move anything else upstairs. But basically, the second I finished, I realized I don't want to be upstairs yet because my washer and dryer isn't here yet. So I would have to go, because Ian wants to rent out the B&B. So he's like, are you moving? Are you moving? And I'm like, last night we had a little bit of a disagreement. Like, no, not unless you're going to move the washer and dryer up too. So, but yes.
I just said I'm kind of a little bit slow here, Charmaine, because I knew that you had the round table with Jack and Lily's little wooden pictures on it when you were doing a live, and it's only now I'm just going, wait a second, I've been in Charmaine's house and Ian's place there, and that is the upstairs. Just clued on me now. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just realized you can't see. I'll move them, but your dinosaur and
yeah,
they are there. I just have, it's weird right now. So yeah.
But again, thank you guys for being here. Brad's in the house, of course, and one day, Brad, I'm sure he said out of his lips, sometime soon, Sonny, I'm going to join you on a live. Shh, Brad, you don't need to say anything else. I agree. Okay.
RCMP.
At first, it was, I had to explain a lot, and which I obviously didn't mind. I gave them everything that I knew and that I had, and that, but it seems like the relationship is kind of dwindling off because they're just not
Giving you
explaining enough. And I understand that they are busy and they have many other cases, but also I just feel like more should be happening.
I know at points you were questioned heavily by police and even given polygraph tests. Did you feel you were interrogated?
No, not at all.
Did you ever feel RCMP were suspicious of you?
I would assume at first because they didn't know the answers. But the RCMP know now.
You've been polygraphed how many times? Twice?
Twice.
What was that experience like?
It was nerve-wracking, mostly because of the question I was asked. The second one wasn't as bad because I had already been through one, but I understood why they had to be done, and I just got through it, and because I knew the truth.
What was the question?
The first one was if I it's too heartbreaking to say.
What was your answer?
Well, Daniel didn't have no problem answering those questions whatsoever. Is that the difference between men and women? Daniel was right there going, they asked me if I murdered the children, if I did this, I did that.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's safe to assume it's the same question that she's referring to. Did we? Yeah, we haven't got there yet, Shy, but we will talk about that, and that is straight up false. Straight up false. And the RCMP on mainstream media cleared that up. One of the only things that they've ever cleared up is that they did not tell her not to speak.
Told her to
They
be
did not.
to be mindful.
They need to be mindful of what they say. Nobody told her not to speak. And I will double down and say no cop told them to leave the property that day either. But I have my own theories on that story. But
yeah. Every time Maleyha makes this type of comment, like as if, being asked a question of, well, what was the question? I always, it just reminds me of someone going, I take the fifth. I take the fifth. Take the fifth. Yep, not going to answer that. Nope, can't answer that. Not going to answer that. I only tell you what I want you, but yet, it's, like, honestly. Sorry, Maleyha.
well, it could have been handled the same as the other one, just look up and like, I don't think I can talk about that.
No, right.
Why does she keep looking off camera? Who does she keep looking at off camera? So maybe we know that Cheryl and Angeline were there, and rumor has it that Shenanigans was there. Potentially Cindy was there. She had support people with her, absolutely.
Yeah, they're probably going,
Somebody said Cheryl was holding up cue cards. I doubt it, but
Yeah. The one thing that always stood out was remember when that letter came out that was read by whatever her name was now, from Please Bring Me Home or whatever.
And wasn't it Angela or something?
Yeah, that's what I would say, Angeline or Angela.
Yeah,
Or
it was
something
like Chrissy's assistant or something. Chrissy
Yeah.
Travers' assistant. I'm not sure.
when she was talking about the scent, and stuff like that in that letter. And then she kind of like, reverberated it here. Your mother just knows, the scent about, knowing. I mean, it's true, if you're being truthful, of course, we all.
Is that true though?
What?
Because when she said that today, I'm racking my brain trying to figure out, like, did my children have a smell?
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, I'll say yes, for myself, because I know that to this day I can go smell. And I had a golden retriever. Sorry, not a Labrador. What did I say that? I was too busy looking at Harley in your picture there as I said Labrador for some reason. But anyways, and to this day I can still smell Bear as I'm smelling these toys from like over 10 years ago. And
That's a dog, Sonny. Like, I can literally smell Harley like 20 minutes after he leaves a room. But
okay, I'll take my mom. My mom's passed. I got a pair of her pants. And when I smell it and I smell that little bit of mustiness on it, it just reminds me of my mom's home. More so of my mom's home, just that scent. But I'm gonna say yes to that myself. That I'm sure if I smelled something of my son's, which I do have some of his clothes for sure, it could be just in our heads, but I just feel like I can smell it as if I was smelling it like he was born, type of thing. So, but in saying that, it's still like there's certain things about this whole interview, and I know we're going to talk about the emotions, and to me it's about, yes, there's emotions. Yes, I believe that Maleyha is say missing Jack and Lily, and there's some emotions there, but I don't think that the emotions are matching the truth of what truly happened versus what's coming out of her mouth. But I do feel like that there's regret, and those emotions. And so when I see her kind of doing this, thinking mode type of thing, how it is when somebody brings up and you're thinking about, like if somebody brought up a name from school, it instantly takes your brain and you can picture the high school or whatever. And you can picture as if it was yesterday looking at that in your head. That's how I feel like with Maleyha with this interview, is that the truth is in there, but what we're hearing is not the emotions matching where the truth of the emotions are coming from, but more the emotions are there, but I don't believe that they're attached to the fact that she has no idea what happened to Jack and Lily, type of thing. You know what I'm saying? You guys know.
I do. I understand absolutely, and I'm watching chats, and I realize that this isn't like the normal tone for my channel, and in my opinion, so far we're being relatively gentle, but this is a buildup of a year, and Daniel has been eviscerated, and people eat it up. Like, a lot of you love it when Daniel gets attacked, and everything that he says is dissected. And I don't know what you thought was going to happen after 15 months and this woman decides to speak up. If we're all just going to be like, oh, poor Maleyha. She's here. She's finally here.
You know what?
No.
Who's Jack and Lily? Maleyha, it's all, I care more about you and your traumas and your pain and sorrows. And, you're the ones, of course. I mean, who cares the fact that you and Daniel were supposed to be taking care of Jack and Lily, And I disagree, Cool J, about the channel being brutal, about people with open minds. I think me and Charmaine have a lot of tolerance for open minds, for sure. And then there's just stupidity on top of that. But open minds, absolutely. People that join my channel, and I know Charmaine's, it's like, unless you're pretty much a douche, you pretty much are welcome to stay if you're just being, respectful to others. But who cares? We can all have our opinions. You can say that all you want about being brutal, but I'm going to disagree.
That's right. And there are plenty and will be plenty of other live streams to watch on this who are going to be very favorable and very empathetic towards Maleyha's plight and trauma. And I don't think you're going to get that here because we have been doing this for, thank you, Christina, 465 days. And we have been down Daniel's throat and we have been ripping a strip off Janie straight through the time. And if Maleyha thinks that 15 months in is a good time to step up and keep the awareness that she hasn't done at all, I'm sorry, but this is what it is. I'm disgusted is what I am. So if you don't want to watch, bye.
Yeah.
You can continue, Sunny. I need to go find light.
Yeah,
This is
no
crazy.
problem. You can go do that. Go do that. I'll do the I'll take
I've
over.
been doing it. I've got 3 different sets of lights on. I'll do it again.
Okay.
Answer.
No.
Did police ask if you had anything to do with the disappearance?
No. But I kept asking that question myself to them, and they would just reply, "That's a good question," but also I didn't know why they wouldn't polygraph me for that as well. But I already told them if any more polygraphs are going to be done, that I'm more than willing to go in and do them.
You wanted them to ask you that question? Can I ask you that question? Did you have anything to do with the disappearance of Jack and Lily?
No.
All right. Gag, puke. Nothing against Angela, of course, but well, can I ask you that question? Maleyha's like, yeah, you guys, why aren't you asking me, RCMP, if I had anything to do with the disappearance? Actually, that's a ponder for thought on that, right? If they didn't actually ask her, why didn't they ask her? Is more what I'm curious about. But she's like almost like begging, like, how come you guys haven't asked me? I really wanted to answer that for you, and obviously
But
they were
sorry, was this the part where did you have something to do with the disappearance and she waited for the question? Can you rewind it? And I want to watch her body language.
Do you got your light set up properly yet?
I turned another set of kitchen lights on, so I think so.
It's good.
Okay.
It's not as dark
Okay.
for sure. Yeah. Okay. Let's go back to this. Let's go back right here.
Question, but also I didn't know why they wouldn't polygraph me for that as well. But I already told them if any more polygraphs are going to be done, that I'm more than willing to go in and do them.
You don't hang in the way.
You wanted them to ask you that question?
Now watch her body, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask you that question? Did you have anything to do with the disappearance of Jack and Lily?
No.
Rocking.
What do you think happened to them?
Okay, pause it.
Okay. Pause.
I am going to speak from a little bit of experience, and I'm not saying this is exactly what happened, but if you noticed, she expected the question. She knew it was coming.
Yes.
And when she said no, her body immediately did this.
Yeah.
And so, and I'm not saying that this is what's happening here, but for me, up until about, say, a year and a half, 2 years ago, I was very skinny, very, very, very thin, not healthy thin. And I would venture to guess Maleyha has lost a lot of weight. But the point is, when my blood pressure would go up, if my heart started beating, my body would sway to the beat of my heart. That's how kind of frail I was. And that's what that reminded me of, because she knew the question was coming, but still answering it caused this heartbeat inflection where she, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of. I don't know if you want to watch it again, but it was just it was like, it took me back to when I felt so tired and so weak, and I just was, you know, any kind of raised blood pressure or heartbeat, I couldn't help my body but to move with the beat of the heart. It's crazy. So when I saw it, I was like, whoa, that's something to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Do you want me to play it again one more time? A little piece?
Sure. And Sky Painter, I don't know that this is self-soothing. This
Right.
was involuntary. This was in crime science. I don't think so. This was involuntary, just to my eyes, and only strictly based on my own personal experience. And I could be wrong, but you know, that just reminded me of that. Because if you watch her body, she knew the question was coming, and when she said the answer, it was like she couldn't. I don't know.
Let's play it again.
And do them.
You wanted them to ask you that question? Can I ask you that question? Did you have anything to do with the disappearance of Jack and Lily?
No.
No.
What do you think happened to them?
The only thing I can assume is someone took them. But for what reason, I don't know.
There's no
And it
tear.
would have been from your home.
Sniffling, though.
Definitely that morning.
But I just want them back home.
RCMP have.
You know, I noticed when she was even messaging me, the one thing that stood out was she kind of was saying that same thing. You know, I just want them back home. It was like a go-to answer. Was she would say,
Well, even in
something.
her first interview,
Yeah.
I just want them back home. I just want them home. You know.
Yeah. I mean, for me, don't even take me back to that first interview because I freaking hate that interview. To me, it was just red flag city on that one. But let alone not mentioning her kids' names and stuff like that. But, what strikes me is I keep having Seth Rogers with Sebastian in my head. Seth is a grown-ass big boy, man. And whenever he would talk about Sebastian as he was trying to, answer questions, that man keeps breaking down in tears to this day still. Time goes on, and stuff like that. But the one thing that really stood out in all of this, and I know it's a video, interview, but I don't care. Those tears kept coming up there, but never did I see one ever drop up from her face. And that's what I find hard to understand between someone that's being honest and sincere with their emotions, kind of like with Katie Proudfoot, same thing, but it was just like, come on, Maleyha, I want to see one of those welled up eyed teardrops, like something literally fall down, instead of the. But never did I see a tear, and I just couldn't imagine. Still, a year and 15 months or whatever, 15 months is still a very fresh thing to have anything to do with death, loss of a husband. But in this case, we're talking about 2 missing children. That's what really always stands out to me about these emotions. And I'm sorry, like I said, everyone can have their own opinions. I just don't buy this act. I just don't. I don't care at all. To me, that's all this is just another act. That's why we don't see the proper emotions coming along with the words being said, and the inconsistencies and shit. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly. It's not. It was. I mean, good that she's, helping raise awareness, I guess, keeping the conversation going. And for that, Maleyha, I thank you.
Yeah, what's
But,
with all these jewel things, by the way? What's with all these jewels? Jewels.
From what I
Jan
understand,
Brindle.
YouTube gives them jewels to give away, and they only have a certain amount of time that they have to give them away. And like one jewel is like 10 cents or something. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. But it's cool. I appreciate it. Thank you for the 1,000 jewels, whoever you are. Who is this?
Jan Brindle.
Oh, grand. Thanks.
I was going to say. I just wish I could click on these people, Charmaine, for you, but it's not letting me.
I'm sorry.
I know. I don't know why.
But I don't think I'm not all the way to too little too late. I'm at the point where let's see what she does now. Is she going to stay out, or was this a one and done? Is this okay? I'll talk, but then everybody leave me alone, because that ain't going to happen.
No, that's
But
okay.
like I said, Daniel has been facing this scrutiny fairly for the last 15 months. Janie has her fair share, and Maleyha, in my opinion, has gotten off from answering questions for a very long time. And so I have very little sympathy.
Daniel, it's Maleyha's turn.
And hopefully, like with any luck at all, this will, encourage Daniel to speak up again. Maybe not, but maybe. But you can go ahead, Sunny.
Okay.
Publicly said they have no reasonable grounds to believe this was criminal. Do you think this was criminal?
I honestly don't know. I'm just waiting for the police to give me all the facts.
You think they're withholding from you?
What the frick does she mean? She honestly doesn't know if it's criminal or not. Somebody got your kids, you said. They're still alive, right? So that would have to be a criminal act. Unless, of course, you handed them over yourself there, Maleyha, but,
But it would still be criminal because it's still criminal.
It's criminal. We know everyone that has, even a fraction of a brain cell knows that this case is truly criminal. And the reason why it stays in the Missing Children's Act is because of the information and, the different things that they can do more so than being called criminal investigation. And, but I think pretty much everyone knows that, including Maleyha and the Daniel, that this is Daniel's out and out said it, that criminal investigation. But she's so flip-floppy. Well, I don't know if they're out in the woods. I believe that they're still alive. I don't know if it's criminal. Whatever. Come on now. That's because I feel myself, because the truth isn't just being told. Now, if you just tell RCMP the truth, then we'll get to the truth, and then we can move on from this whole guessing aspect, and
hi, Ian.
Where's Ian? Oh, there's Ian. What does he have? A shirt that says "Flash Me"?
Huh? No, he's wearing my Johnny Cash pajama top.
Yeah. Oh, Cash. He's promoting your channel, Charmaine.
No, he's not. It's Johnny Cash. He's absolutely not.
Yeah.
He knows how to do that. Drop him.
All right. If you need some gas, Ian, I got a lot in my tank, and I'm not talking about petrol fuel. I'm talking about ass fuel. I got plenty of gas, people. All right. Do you want me to play some more?
Mm-hmm. I feel like
yes, please.
They have to protect the case, and I understand that. And even though it's hard and extremely frustrating, I just have to do what they say and pray every day that they bring them home.
As you know, there's been a lot of accusations flung your way from Daniel Martell, your former partner, and his family, that possibly you or your family were involved in some way. What do you say to that?
I honestly don't know what to say, because we both know we were in the same bed that morning. So I don't understand why they would make up stories.
After that first weekend when Jack and Lily went missing, on May 3rd, the Saturday, the day following the day that they were reported missing, that was the last day you were there in Lansdowne. There's been widespread skepticism, Maleyha, about why you chose to leave the scene that day. What would you like to say about that decision?
The police had said that we should go, and told my family privately to take me out of there. And I was in too much state of shock that I just wanted to be with my family.
There's a good part coming up.
And my daughter. So we got out of there, and the police met us back at Mom's.
And they
Bullshit.
were leaving you there.
Yeah, and I had to.
You want me to stop there, Charmaine? What'd you say? Oh, hold on a second. No, Maggie May, you suck. She told me I suck, Charmaine.
Who did?
Maggie Pie, Maggie
Well-
Face. No, you suck.
She said you, like,
Yeah, you suck.
specifically, or just us? Because there's a lot of people who are, you
Yeah.
know,
She put
they
it
take
on.
issue with what we're doing here today. Like,
Yeah, she told me, Maleyha, you wanted her to talk. She has. You suck, Sonny. 100%.
Maggie May, we wanted her to talk a year ago.
I was gonna say, yeah, that was like last year's news.
Like, how many times, you guys, have I said on my live stream, I don't blame her for not talking.
Yeah.
She could still use her platform to advocate for her kids, but I don't
Right.
blame her for not talking. And at this point, I wouldn't if I was her. I mean, she's not. The only thing that she's done here, like I said, is give YouTubers and Facebook more shit to talk about.
Yeah.
So-
What's Ian saying? Hello, everyone.
Instead of just coming on panel, right?
Yeah. Ian, give special love to Maggie.
Yeah,
What you say? Yeah.
tell Maggie to kick rocks.
Yeah. That stuff
Whatever.
does make me laugh, but whatever.
Yeah.
anyway.
Anyways, he's got another message for everyone.
Send help. Oh, so you're being held hostage? You just want another story. Yeah, so that we can profit off of it. Obviously for clicks and views. I see.
Right.
And that's why he wore his cash shirt. But
So, anyways, about this,
yeah.
was this about the police telling her to leave or advising them?
Right.
Come on. My only idea about that is perhaps that's what she was told by her family or friends, and that's how they got her out of there. But we heard on the dispatch they wanted the mom close to the house in case the kids came back. So bullshit. Straight up bullshit.
Yeah. Bullshit. Cool J. Bullshit. But this is when she's about to say this.
Do a very lengthy interview with them.
Why didn't you go back?
I don't think I can touch on that right now.
Is there anything you can say
I mean,
about?
Obviously, if we're, aware of a secondary case coming up, could be the reason, Don't want to touch on that because obviously could lead into the whole drugs, and because we all know what Haley and what Maleyha told Haley about the drugs and blah, 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 blah. But anyways, I can understand her, if we're looking at secondary, why she probably doesn't want to talk on that. Oh, Belinda.
Hey, Belinda. And yeah, I mean, exactly. And you have to keep in mind, she does have the CPS court case going on. She has a guardianship court case going on. And she also has the assault court case going on. So there is a lot she can't touch on. So why bother? Why bother?
Love you, Belinda.
Yeah. Thanks for being here, Belinda.
Yeah. And yeah, like I said, every 2 children missing, everyone wanted to hear from them. I'm just not here to make excuses. Doesn't matter if it was Maleyha, Daniel, any parent really. You got 2 children missing. You're the biggest advocate, Maleyha, for her own 2 children. And yet she acted like she's using that the police told her not to say anything, and that's not true. They already said that. But she can stick to that story. But again, we're not stupid people. We understand. We can see this whole 15 months now of what is derived from this case and stuff like that. What Maleyha's actions have been, have not been. What Daniel's actions have and have not been. Same with Janie and whatever. 3 on the property, but yeah, everyone wanted to hear from the mother at the start. I agree, giving her graces somewhat at the start and stuff like that, but it just kept going on, and you're not using social media, to advocate, and it's just crock shit to me still.
And that's the thing, right? It's not like I've been saying like Maleyha needs to come on to YouTube and talk, or even
Right.
I don't even think that I would say like do a mainstream media interview. I never understood why not. But my only issue was not using her platform, her own Facebook, her own Instagram to post missing persons posters. We were left to wonder if Maleyha thought that they were missing or if she knew where they were. Like, she was not publicly looking for her kids, and that's where my issue was. So I don't understand the point and purpose of this 15 months in. That's all it is. I don't get it. And I don't have questions, because that's how little it truly means, other than thanks for the content, Maleyha. I truly hope Jack and Lily are found. They needed you a year ago. They needed you 15 months ago.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And agreed, Sesame.
What life was like before May 2nd in the home with Jack and Lily and Daniel.
I don't think I can talk about it right now. I'm sorry.
So all of these months later, I know there's been also a lot of questions about why you stayed so quiet, and that usually a mother of missing children would be speaking
To that part where she says that she's owed, but so we'll just touch on the one that she doesn't think she can talk about it, again, type of thing. And I'm still thinking that that's going to be to do with the secondary. I mean, for the most part, it might not be, but do you think?
Do I think what? Sorry?
Oh, just when she was, asked the question. What was actually the question? See, I can't even remember myself. And then let me just go back. Oh my God. Brain went dead.
Is there anything you can
That's fine.
say about what life was like before May 2nd
Oh.
in the home with Jack and Lily
Big long
and
thinkage here.
Daniel?
Reminiscing.
Yeah, honestly, it probably wasn't great, and it
Like,
probably
I can
took her a year to
talk about it right
realize
now.
that it wasn't great.
So all
If,
of these months later,
Sorry.
I know there's been also a lot of
Go ahead. Sorry. My bad.
Yeah, like if there, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even know. She doesn't owe anybody anything. And like I said before, I think she owes the community that has stepped up to advocate for her missing children an extreme debt of gratitude. At the very least, she owes her children to make amends for her failures. She does. I don't think anybody owes her shit. Not at this point. That's my own opinion. What do you think?
Yeah, agreed. I want to hear that part. We're just about to add that part, I believe.
Questions about why you stayed so quiet, and that usually a mother of missing children would be speaking out, and even on a megaphone. Why hasn't that been the case for you?
Even on a megaphone, Maleyha.
Because the police had told me not to, that it would jeopardize the case, and I just did whatever they told me to do because I didn't want to jeopardize the case in any way. And I also wasn't ready because I'm continuing to go through extreme trauma and
Pain and sorrow.
even this is extremely hard for me.
And there has been intense.
Yeah, definitely it's been extremely hard for you. Fuck Jack and Lily. It's been extremely hard for you, Maleyha, on that. I just get so pissed off. Just get so pissed off with all the bullshit. It's been so hard. The trauma of it all, Charmaine. Pain and sorrow. Pain and sorrow. All right.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's just, I don't know if it was supposed to be educational, motivational, anything. It's just exhausting
Yeah,
listening to.
What exactly? What about when she told me about? I mean, were you trying to protect the case when you were sitting there telling me that Daniel had pushed you, up against the wall and held you down in those messages? Were you trying to protect the case then? Because I was like, why is she telling me this shit? To be honest with you, I mean, I was like, good on you, thank you. But and then of course it came out later in the docs, right? But we already knew that was old news to us because Maleyha had already said it in the messages and stuff. But of course she didn't want to, do anything that would harm the case, and she was just following the lead of the RCMP and not, of course, yeah, fuck off. Fuck off. All right.
Scrutiny on you and your family in the last few months.
I don't feel I owe
Oh, here we go.
people anything. If anything, I'm owed answers and to have my children back to me.
Okay. I don't feel like. What was this? Is that word? I gotta play that again. It's so ridiculous listening to this. One sec.
Been intense scrutiny on you and your family in the last few months.
I don't feel I owe people anything.
Don't feel like okay.
If anything, I'm owed answers and to have my children back to me.
If anything, I'm owed answers. Hey, remember, it's because of you and Daniel that apparently, of course, you guys weren't supervising them right, but you're right. So, you know what, Jack and Lily, you're owed the answers, Maleyha, and you don't owe anyone else answers. And you know what, I'm sorry, but that particular piece in itself is going to get played over and over and over again because honestly, it's your two children missing, and you're saying that you feel like you don't owe, answers. In fact, you feel like you're the one that is owed answers. No, Jack and Lily. I just can't when I listen to that. That one enrages me a lot. What did Belinda say?
Yeah, me too. It's like you don't think you owe anybody anything, but you're owed.
It just
how do you?
Yeah.
that just goes hand in hand with the lack of accountability and the lack of understanding that you literally could have avoided every bit of this. And
Because of you.
it, No, go
It
ahead.
literally is because of those two, Daniel and Maleyha. That literally, Maleyha literally has the nerve to even say that. How about you guys are the biggest fuck ups, right, in Canadian history, pretty much right now. For this is such a ridiculous case, and the answer is going to be, like I said, a normal answer to what happened to Jack and Lily in the scope of scenarios. But to sit there and literally do an interview and say that, and that's what she had said, remember, to me in my comments, that I don't, I don't feel like I owe anyone answers. You certainly do, actually. You're the mother of two missing children that you want to find them, right? Whether they're alive or whether they're in the woods, but you don't know, but all this stuff, but yet you sit there as if you're the, reigning of the parade for Jack and Lily. Fuck off, Maleyha, and your freaking high horse that you're sitting on. And it's about just seriously, like, we know we messed up. Like I said, take away if they had anything to do with it. But, we understand it's our fault. And we thank everyone that has been fighting for, being voices for Jack and Lily and stuff like that. Like that type of truthness. But if you don't feel like you're listening to the truth, then obviously we're not going to hear those type of words. But to me, from authentic people, you would hear those words,
Absolutely.
People are...
And Joe, I am being easy on her. Trust me.
Oh, yeah. I just, and to me, again, I feel like this piece exactly. So I truly believe that Maleyha is having emotions. I just don't believe that they're genuine to the truth of why these emotions are happening. It's kind of like with Katie Proudfoot and these emotions, but the emotions really aren't matching what a parent would typically be doing. I'll look to Seth Rogers any day of the week for someone that's been looking for their child for over 2 years, doesn't stop, vigilant in those actions. And that was one child. We have 2 children here. Like, holy shit, right? It's bad enough that one child goes missing, but 2 children, she's just taking it day by day, because normally most people in the situation go, you know what? I need to be with someone. I need to be with men as well. I can't, I need that to somehow cope with dealing with Jack and Lily missing and shit like that. The action. Yeah.
Cool, Jay, I don't think so at all. But the consensus here in my channel and what I ask people is to wait to hear all of the evidence before running with, conviction. You can believe what you want, and I can believe what I want, and I am looking forward to hearing the evidence. We probably never will hear it, but we'll see it in the form of conviction when it's all said and done.
What? That's September 3rd is the next. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, 3rd or 7th. I don't know.
You guys remember? Is it 3rd or 7th? Either way, that's going to come up quick again. It's already the 10th. I mean, I don't think it's going to be postponed again, to be honest with you. It's already been postponed twice, But anyway, get back on track here. Whimper. Hey, Joe.
And I believe the police know what they're doing and that they're doing everything to find Lily and Jack and bring them back home to me.
You still trust in the process?
That's all I have.
Oh, Belinda says September 2nd.
So why now? Why speak out now?
I just feel I need to continue keeping their faces out there, that they're out there somewhere, and they see me on TV, they'll recognize me and maybe somehow they'll be brought back home.
When you think of them today, where do you envision they are? Or do you?
That they're being well looked after and they're together. That's all a mother could hope.
What keeps you up at night?
I can answer that,
Not
Maleyha.
being able to tuck them in at night and give them a hug and kiss and read them a story. And sleep beside them.
Still not a tear, not one tear rolling down that
I
face.
miss them a lot. I look at their
Charmaine, do you think she's torn between lying and telling the truth? Like, especially that face that she just did where she was like, you know, it just reminded me of when someone is struggling internally with what there's coming out of their mouth and the truth and what, you know, obviously, if there's truth up there, you're picturing it all. And, you know, and this is why I don't feel like I see tears at all, is because the truth isn't what's coming out of the mouth. It's this portrayal of what is supposed to be the truth versus what is the truth. But what did you think there? This whole
Like, no, I don't think there's any kind of moral dichotomy in her head whatsoever. I don't know if Maleyha knows what happened. I really don't.
Right.
We land differently on all three of these people because I don't know, and I'm not confident enough to place my bet one way or the other. All that I can look at is say that the contradictions in this entire thing, from Daniel's stories, from the things that Janie has said in the past, from the things that Maleyha has said in the past, and the things that Shenanigans has claimed that Maleyha has said in the past. The contradictions are real. And I, for one, am happy to hear this shit out of her mouth because now I have something to hold her to. Before, other than her first interview, all I had was people saying that Maleyha said this. This is rock solid to me. True? I don't know. But I'm holding her to every fucking syllable. Tell you that right now.
You know, and that just reminds me of a couple of things, like from when Belinda and Maleyha were talking, and Belinda sent me a couple screenshots again, you know, which I just quickly, Charmaine, I just want to just give me 1 second, bear with me. Okay, so this is Maleyha talking with Belinda, and she says they've been missing since 9:40. They like to wander a lot. And then she said, do they go out to the road? Belinda saying this to Maleyha. She said, normally no, but if they were in the front yard and someone stopped and convinced them to come over, they would go. They don't understand stranger danger. So that, between that and they like to wander a lot, I don't know how they could possibly wander, Daniel and Maleyha, because they never do things like this. They don't just go out by themselves. They know that they're always supervised, you know, and this is where I was saying that Maleyha double talked herself on this, because she's sitting there trying to say that they're supervised. And at the start of this case, I was like, okay, you're just trying to look good in front of CPS by saying that. I get it. I get why you're doing that, you know, but then as, of course, time gone on, then you're, you know, and Daniel is adamant that they don't do things like this. But on this miraculous Friday, they did. But really, they are, Malaya is saying that they wander a lot. Right. So if they wander a lot, obviously that's because they're not supervised, because you wouldn't use the word that they wander a lot, or that when they're playing out front type of thing, that if somebody came, that means that they're not supervised. If someone had the ability to come and snatch them kids up. So again, all those contradictions along this case and the actions, how could people not, keep looking at the property and the people on it because of all these inconsistencies? She doesn't even remember that she says 8:20. The phone call was at 8:28, but Lily came into the room at 8:20. But again, that would be ingrained inside your head. You wouldn't forget those moments. Those staple moments when something really bad happened. It would be like ingrained in your freaking head. And so, but no, these people all have amnesia. They can't remember the Thursday from the Wednesday to this day. And it was just a normal day. Whatever. Go on. Anyway.
I can get behind this Drippy for sure. I think her eyes are welling up. The emotions are real. It's just what she's telling herself isn't real. Right. I'm with you. I'm reading your mail. I agree.
Yeah. I think
sure.
Whatever happened to Jack and Lily, I think if I was just guessing at this myself, I don't think it was something that would have been, I'm like, if I was just saying it myself, I wouldn't think it was something that Maleyha would have contrived. I feel like something happened, and that they're covering for what truly happened. But I believe that Maleyha is remorseful and regretful of whatever did happen that caused Jack and Lily's, disappearance, missing, stuff like that. So I believe that those emotions are real for the fact of that this wasn't meant to happen like this and blah, 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 blah. And, but I just don't think that the truth in these words coming out definitely match. And to me, it solidifies it by the lack of tears, by the way that she's acting, the way that she's talking, the lack of the 15 months. And that's my opinion. And again, I have the right to my opinion, and that's how I feel about this case. And again, it just is a matter of, no matter what Maleyha says, unless Daniel and her go to the RCMP and said, you know what, we had something to do with the disappearance of Jack and Lily, it's going to be up to the RCMP for us to look for answers from them when obviously the time is right for those answers to come out. Because it's certainly, if they have anything to do with it, it's certainly not going to come from their mouths. Maybe, but highly unlikely. And that's why I think that when Maleyha told Belinda and Belinda's sister that she hadn't seen Lily since Thursday and stuff like that, again, 9:40 to me is just like a lot of us felt about that interview, scripted, and that's all it was. Because look at the timeline. Look what we're talking about. Think about Janie's timeline. There's no magical freaking carpet that dropped on by that car that Janie didn't hear pull up, and somebody managed to take the kids between 9:40, in a sense, according to Maleyha, 9:40 to 10:01. Let alone the timeline, even if you take Janie's, it's still after 9 o'clock. All that stuff didn't happen. There's no magical vehicle that just, showed up. And, remember Janie's comment, though? I'll never forget Janie's comment. Well, if it was a Tesla or something like that, or Tesla, I probably wouldn't have heard it, those new cars. Now, Janie, your dog would hear it. You would hear it. You just have to hear Daniel opening up a trash bag, with the blanket in it, and your butt's right outside that camper right there. So don't give me that crap that you guys wouldn't have heard a vehicle. And then Daniel's thing of going up within 30 seconds and back down. Well, obviously he would have saw Maleyha put the kids in a vehicle. It's all hogwash to me still.
Yeah, and I went back and I watched, because not a lot of people go back and watch the May 2nd, 2026 interview I did with Daniel on the channel. Everybody goes to either your, long one or the one after that where he just randomly came up.
Yeah.
And I said it was to defend the RCMP because my mission that day was to rip into the RCMP. But I went back and started re-listening to the May 2nd, 2026 episode with Daniel. And he does talk about all of that. And it's interesting to re-listen to it. Because there is a lot of shit that I, like, believe it or not, like, I missed.
Are you referring to the one, like, do you remember that part where he was talking about his mom wasn't outside and next thing you know, we put her outside, you know, that one, and he basically, you know, obviously double talked himself on that in the same pretty much sentence there. And it was like, wait, how can your mom be outside now when she didn't come out for 10 minutes after and stuff, but yet you had placed her inside then outside? And it was just like, and it's just almost to me like when somebody, you know, just gets caught up in a Freudian slip or something like that. Is what that reminded me of.
Yeah, but then if you keep watching it later on, he'll actually like clarify, because there were some things that I caught and I would circle back to, and that's why I never even thought to go back to the May 2nd one because I hadn't heard it since that. I didn't even watch my replay on that one, so it's very interesting to me. But we'll continue on with that one on a different live stream. With
the one I was talking about, though, which was when we were just talking about, is that it's only when comments were said during the live is when he started backtracking on that. But it was only because of the comments in the live.
Sure, and that's why it's important to encourage them to talk, you know, because then that's the only way we get clarification. So, you know.
Shut up, Joe Neal. Special bus for you.
Yeah, get in the bus, Joe.
Shit. Here, I'll hit play. Where are we? We're 3/4 of the way there.
Okay.
It's on my fridge and all over my walls, and I break down in tears because I miss them so much, and they need to come home.
I feel like Belinda's broken more down in tears.
On Canada Day, you recently walked in a parade and there was a float for Jack and Lily, and you had some of their items that you made for them, keychains with their pictures on them, handing them out to the crowd. What was that like for you?
It was very emotional, and I just kept walking forward and kept my head straight because I was doing it for them, to bring awareness to them, to keep their faces out there and bring them back home. It was a very large crowd, and that's not something I would normally do, but I did it for them.
That was a big step after remaining.
Fuck yeah, Maleyha. That was a big step. That was a big ass hurdle for you, wasn't it? You know, to come out for frickin' your kids finally and show up for a search, come out to a parade and, you know, just show their faces and, you know, just show that I'm part of it all and stuff like that. You know, after all this time. Fuck. Come on. Emotion. Like I said, Belinda showed more emotion than I've personally ever seen, even from this interview. You know, like I said, who's emotional today? Belinda's very emotional today. You know,
sure.
She knows a stack of shit when she hears it as well. You know, she just wants answers like we do for Jack and Lily. You know, cut the BS of all this and this pretense stuff, and you know, just answers for Jack and Lily. That's just what it boils down to, regardless of any interview she does or doesn't do. You know, it will become no different than Daniel. For the people that want to be Maleyha lovers, you know, be Maleyha lovers. Absolutely. Go ahead. It's your God-given right to do whatever you want. But as for me, it's just, like I said, it's about Jack and Lily. And I don't really care about her traumas or pains and sorrows and that. And that's not because I'm heartless. It's just because, again, it was because of these people that Jack and Lily, regardless, according to them, that they disappeared anyway. And why all these resources have gone out and stuff like that. So, you know, they should be beating themselves up every single day because of their actions, which have led to this, regardless of what happened to Jack and Lily, whether they considered missing or if it was criminal, which is criminal, but just don't have the sympathy. I lost it for Maleyha a long time ago. Same with Daniel, really. It's not because it's not really about the sympathy for them. I just don't care about that. It's about Jack and Lily, and it's the honesty of what you feel when you're watching a stepdad or a mother, and what they're doing to show that they're truly invested in finding answers for Jack and Lily. And Maleyha lost my sympathy for that shit a long time ago. I actually appreciate Daniel more for all his talking from the get-go, because truly, if it still wasn't for Daniel, people wouldn't be talking about this case as much, because true crime is that way. If there's nothing to talk about, the case will die off. There'll be a few channels that cover it, but when there's drama involved, it keeps the fire lit. Same within Sebastian Rogers' case and a lot of other cases, And for that, I'll always be grateful for anyone that's covering Jack and Lily's case, talking about Jack and Lily, whether I'm taking a little hiatus, and stuff like that. But it's not like I'm going to forget. It's just, again, I got my real life and stuff going on. But, if I don't have something that I truly want to say, I can't force myself to do a live, even though I wanted to do a live with Charmaine, when I got back. And then I just woke up every day and then started having to work. And then I'm like, I just don't feel like I want to do a live at this time. But thanks for bringing me back out of my shell today. Because this interview did that, Oh, sorry. Do you want me to hit play?
Sure. Yeah. I was reading chat and munching on my supper. So yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. What are you having for dinner?
Ian brought me A&W because I told him I wasn't making supper.
Shut up, A&W.
I said, I don't have time. So
Matzo burger?
feed yourself. No, I get a teen burger with no bacon.
Okay, fair enough. I always get the matzo burger and onion rings and a diet root beer.
Those shorts are Anita approved for national TV, Joe. That's funny.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. It almost reminds me of the Barry Morphew children. They couldn't be asked to put up a picture of their mother, for their avatar on their, Facebooks or nothing like that. Instead, they would put themselves in booty shorts and bikinis, right? Strangers do more things, sadly. I've probably shed more tears to me than Maleyha has. And I hate to say that, but honestly, I just don't feel these emotions are truthful. I believe that she is remorseful about, my opinion that something happened, but I don't believe that. I'm not buying all this crap still. Nope. I was going to say something bigger.
Quiet and not in the public for a long time. What was the reception like from the crowd?
I'm at the point now where I can't worry about what people think of me.
Oh, you should have never anyway.
People who are close and know me know that I would never do anything to my children and that I love them very much.
And I understand you've also been taking part in other searches for other missing people, one just recently as well, here in Nova Scotia. Why do you do that?
Because I feel very helpless right now without having answers or knowing what's the next step to do. And so helping others is basically all I feel I can do.
And I know that you've...
What do you think about them apples, Charmaine? She's stepping
Sorry,
up.
what did you say? My dog was panting.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, she's stepping it up and helping search for other children now and stuff because she doesn't know what to do with her time, basically.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I'm sure those other families appreciate the efforts. I wonder what Jack and Lily will think of that.
I know. Honest. That's all I could think of about, where were you this whole time? And now you're stepping it up. Not only are you just coming out of the horse gate, you're freaking taking a race to the finish line there, you know. Someone said,
It's
"Oh, poor muffin."
almost like a disconnect. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like it's not quite a read the room type thing. It's a disconnect. So I'll go out and search for. But don't get me wrong. I don't blame any parent of a missing child for not going into the woods and searching for their children's remains after so long. It would be so traumatizing. I understand that some would, a lot would, but I don't know. I don't know if I could. So I do not blame her for that. But to go out and search for other people's, I mean, great, perfect, wonderful way to spend your time.
Mother of the Year,
I
honestly. Yeah.
Yeah, Sunny, you need to leave her alone. She's coming off a real bad breakup.
Oh my God, that's funny, actually. you know, just when it comes to that, again, it will always remain that the sadness of this case of Jack and Lily. I think most of us, on a hope and a prayer and a miracle that, hey, Maleyha, maybe you're right. Maybe those children and all those presents you bought, will get opened one day and stuff like that. Chances are pretty much 0.00001, but I mean, there's a hope and a miracle there. But I think most of us are realistic that follow true crime. But miracles can happen. They can, So
Absolutely.
that would be the best case scenario. And I'll still, I mean, reality is reality of cases, of what's the likelihood and what's the probability and stuff like that. But always hold out for that miracle of that something could possibly happen. But,
What do you think of this? Because it's a very, very good point, and I've seen it in the chat numerous times that this Angela McIver is slightly different than the Angela McIver we saw interviewing Daniel, because she has interviewed Daniel a number of times, and although she is not an aggressive interviewer, she does ask some good questions, but she is extremely gentle with
yes.
Maleyha and these questions, even her tone. What do you think of that?
Honestly, I think that Angela, Lindsay, and Allison, I think that they all have very beautiful, caring hearts beyond their jobs. But I think that for say Angela, and she is like a softie regardless, I believe anyway, because sometimes you just want some of these harder you want like a Nancy Grace coming at them type of thing. But with her, I think that that for them, they probably hit the little bit of a jackpot by getting an interview with Maleyha. So they're probably like on eggshells a bit, tippy toes. And I'm sure making promises like, don't worry, we're not going to do this and and then she's probably in the background going, score, I got the interview, I mean, I think anyone really that probably got an interview with Maleyha at this point is probably thinking like, yes, and I was the one to do it type of thing.
Yeah, and just maybe being like because I know what you're saying. Like they're very caring people. However,
Yeah.
She did ask Daniel questions, and her tone was it wasn't aggressive. That's not
No.
maybe more assertive, and she was very gentle. Kid
Yeah.
gloves, like she was speaking
Yeah.
with a child here.
And it could be simply too as well, just female to female typically is softer because we usually are parents and have a much more understanding about females and softness, tone, and different stuff. But so I can see what is being said about that. With say Daniel, it was like she was still good, but she was a little bit more, I don't want to say harsher tone, but a little bit more just straightforwardness and but here it's almost like softer for sure. Yeah.
Yes, kid gloves, absolutely. Maybe in the hopes that she'll keep talking and actually advocate for her kids.
Yeah, it will be interesting, Charmaine, to see what Maleyha does. Like in a sense, like we spent pretty much most of the time with Daniel. And Daniel's probably sick of Daniel at this point, to be honest with you. But I mean, it will be interesting to see what Maleyha keeps doing in all these steps to upgrade herself as the parent, mother of the year, by helping to look for other children now, like coming out and, I just can't help it, man. She never showed up to any of the vigils and shit like that, but, all this time later now she's, dealt with some issues going on with herself and the trauma, but everyone knows, like, look at Belinda, right? I mean, this is the grandmother of Jack and Lily. I don't want to speak on Cody or anything about him as the father because, he's never been a topic too much of my discussions. It's always been about Belinda and being the paternal grandmother to Jack and Lily. And, there's many times, that she's had breakdowns. It's exhausting what she's been doing. It's tiring, but she keeps the fight up. Doesn't it somewhat remind you, though, of Karina McClurkin, and Karina McClurkin's grandmother? Just would not
Absolutely, yeah.
stop, kept on going, fighting the fight, going through all these different emotions and stuff, but still coming back to the battle of the forefront to fight for Jack and Lily and stuff like that. Again, it reminds me like a Seth Rogers, that voice that's always a voice. You believe in them, they have your hearts because you feel the genuineness, the sincerity of it all and stuff like that. So for me, for the sake of Jack and Lily, I would love, first and foremost, that, Belinda at some point walks away with the answers so that she can move on instead of being in this horror of a nightmare every day. And as time goes on, things, get a little easier in certain ways. But then when you keep remembering about it, kind of like Abby and Libby, and you start thinking about that moment of the day of that they were there and then they were gone type of idea. And my heart just goes out, especially to Belinda, and Chelsea's been a rock for her mother, but to any of the family members that truly are invested in finding the answers for Jack and Lily. But my heart just always pours for Belinda, because Belinda wasn't on the property. Daniel and Maleyha were,
Yep.
And so, again, if Belinda says that Maleyha told her that she hadn't seen Lily since Thursday, and she remembers that, and her sister can vouch for it. Absolutely. Nah. But anyway, yeah.
So, Gren, are you talking like to me? Am I putting up comments that have been? See, what happens, Sunny, is because you know how StreamYard is.
Yeah.
We see all the comments, whether or not, and I let my mods they can delete if they want to. So sometimes I'll pull up comments that they've already deleted, and then Grindel gets mad at me. He's like, right. So I'm wondering, like, did I do that again? Am I doing that again?
I'm just pissed that I can't pull up anything.
I
people
know.
Doing stuff. That's pissing me off.
I know.
On there. Pinky.
Joe is still here. He's still here. Belinda loves her sweet grandbabies. I can't imagine anyone doubting that. She is truthful and owns her own shit. She does not love what her son did, but we can't control our kids. I did earlier. I apologize, but I mean, I don't care what people say. And if I pull it up, it saves you guys from having to remember to screenshot before I delete it. So you're welcome, Grindel. Anyways, let's continue with this interview. Let's get it done so we can move over to the article.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Said you do your best to drown out the noise and not pay attention to it. But we know there's been a lot of public skepticism and criticism. What's that been like for you to deal with on top of everything else?
I don't like the negative attention and the made-up stories that are taking from the case because no one has answers. So it seems like they're making up answers for clicks and views, which is so disheartening because these are my babies and these people are taking away from the case and causing distractions. And I don't know whether it's purposely or unintentionally, but it's not okay. These are my babies and they need to come home.
There it is.
And how are you doing now compared to even a year ago?
The trauma is still the same. I can't sleep without my medication, so it's extremely hard.
Good night, Brian. Sunny, what do you think of this here? Just real quick. That's interesting.
Which part? The medication?
No, the comment
Oh,
on the screen.
Shan, like Belinda, you should have took Cody to go dig up that spot at the church. She was being quite rude. Oh, Shanann was like Belinda, you should have took Cody to go dig up the spot at the church. She was being quite rude. Can you just
Basically saying that Jack and Lily's dad should have gone and dug up that.
Okay, that's what I was kind of. Why?
Right? What's the point in that comment before booting her out of the live? That's a terrible thing to say to a grandma who's been advocating for these children since day 2.
Exactly. You know, again, it's Daniel and Maleyha that were on the property. It wasn't Cody, right? You know, Cody's had his polygraphs. Cody has the alibi and stuff like that. And again, it's not been at the forefront of the RCMP, but again, it's Daniel and Maleyha we're talking about, you know. But anyway, so, you know, Belinda already knows her son isn't the son of the year and stuff like that, and has talked about him quite openly and stuff like that. But I don't understand the point of this comment either, to be honest.
Okay, sorry. I was a little bit taken back by that, but you can go ahead and play this.
Yeah, but so was that yes, ma'am, saying that why didn't you take Cody, or was that something that she was saying that in Shanann's channel?
No, Shanann apparently said that to Belinda during her live earlier today because we just did a live stream. I think you were there when Belinda was on the live stream to talk about like the fact that she went out where an HRD dog hit, and I have no idea what Shenanigans had to say about that dog handler talking smack or something today. I've heard rumors, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But apparently told Belinda she should have taken Cody to dig that.
Oh, well, I mean, from the horse's mouth, I guess, right? That's just rude and ignorant. But then again, you know, everyone digs their own graves and stuff like that, you know, as a channel, and, you know, what they put out and their content and stuff like that. And all I know is that we can control our own actions and thoughts, and whatever other channels do. And they want to, you know, put out stuff like that or be like that. You know, that just shows who they are. Simple. You know, a lot of you know, drama stuff, like I said, was going on, and I just can't be asked with stupidity and, you know, stupid shit when it comes to Jack and Lily and fillers and bullshit, and kind of why I brought up a little bit of, you know, like, why are you talking? Why are you bringing up about, well, first of all, it was false about how much money I made, because that was clearly not what we were talking about 3,400 and stuff. But it was just like, why? but I'm not throwing Sonny underneath the bus or nothing. But hey, let me just replay this little piece over and over. And then, with that smirk and stuff like that. And then I'm just sitting here like laughing at it all because I'm just like, what a fucking joke. Like, seriously? So that's what it's turned into, is all this bullshit and bringing up about somebody's YouTube channel and stuff like that. And, somebody that takes donations and then craps on, just not into it. Don't care. Fuck off. And we'll just continue to be voices for actually Jack and Lily, whatever people's, negative mouths want to say. Again, they can fuck right off. And we'll just keep being voices for Jack and Lily. If someone wants to ever claim we're grifters and that, again, fuck off. Don't care. We're not. We know it. We don't have to prove it. And we'll just keep fighting for Jack and Lily. And anyone that follows us, like I said, most people can read who people are, And if they want to be a drama bitch and stuff like that, go right ahead. I'm just going to keep continuing to be real, covering the case or covering any case, because it's the people that matter. And in this case, it's Jack and Lily,
Yeah. Hey, mods, is Me Too still here? Just checking. If yeah, whatever. We can continue. I won't put up any more of Me Too's comments for my moderators, but feel free to do what you do. What a work job. Oh my God. Anyways.
And so as for, back to quickly one thing, as for Belinda, she's put up with a lot of bullshit and, and crap and all that stuff throughout this. So say Shanann, whatever, booting her, blocking her from the thing, whatever, to be honest with you, right? Like, she hasn't put up with worse throughout this entire shit, but still, whatever, piece of work. That's all I'll say about that. Love you, Belinda. Love you for everything that you've done for Jack and Lily.
Absolutely.
And Chelsea being voices. Gotta include Chelsea, my sister rivalry there. Okay. So it's Charmaine, we're at 24:08. So we got like about 2 minutes left.
Your life completely changed that day.
Yeah. No parent should ever have to go through what I'm going through, and I've never wished upon anyone. It's unbearable, and I don't think I'd be able to get through it without the support that I have in my family.
Tell me what they've been doing for you. Really, how they've come through for you.
We help each other, and we always stand by each other no matter what, and keep each other busy.
When you say that you wouldn't wish this upon anyone, and we know that I've read the comments myself online, mothers who are judging you as a mother, what do you say to those people?
Hug your children tight, because this could happen to anyone, and you just can't point fingers.
How wrong she is. We can point fingers right at Maleyha, right? Shitty mother, shitty stepdad, couldn't take care of Jack and Lily properly, and this is why we're here today talking about it. Hug your children. I thought that was a weird answer to that question that was kind of asked, really. It just reminded me of that. Yeah, you know what? Just don't forget to give your children a hug and, your husband a kiss, in case something ever happens and stuff like that. But you didn't protect Jack and Lily, according to you guys, really. Did you now? So we're in this situation because of you guys. Anyway, fuck off. I'll play it. It's almost over.
They don't understand the situation entirely. So
tell us the truth then.
They just go off what's being put out there. And I guess they could say all the cruel things that they want. At the end of the day, I know that I'm a good mom and I love my children very, very much. And I'd give anything to just hold them right now.
Still not a tear. Almost though.
Maleyha, what would you like the public to know? If there was anything you could say.
I want them to continue keeping my children's faces out there, keep reposting, just help scream their names to help bring them home. That I believe that they're out there somewhere and they will be returned home. I have dreams about them coming home, and I believe it.
Okay, so whoops. There. We'll leave it at that. There. Go. Okay, final thoughts on this?
My brain is melting. That's my final thought. Like, I mean, once we have time to absorb and get over the disgust and kind of angry, I think a lot of people are angry. Maybe we can be more gentle and fair, but this is what it is. This is a 15-month of pent up, anger, frustration, and, the need to hear from Jack and Lily's mother. And it's all kind of coming out, I think, today. And as time goes on, I think things will get calmer.
Well, we'll see. This. I mean, again, for me, it's just time, biding time till the answers come out for what happened for Jack and Lily. I don't feel like we're going to hear it definitely from Maleyha or Daniel and, and stuff anytime soon, because, they're going to stick to their story and, of they don't know what happened, but apparently in the morning they just miraculously disappeared and stuff like that. So, it's stuff to talk about. It keeps the awareness out there for Jack and Lily and stuff like that. But all I'm hearing in my ear when she talks is right now is blah, 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 BS, shut up, blah, 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 not buying it, If something like this maybe would have came out near the start, and she, but no, it's lack of tears, man. Where's the tears? Where's a tear droplet? Okay, you're going to read the article?
Yes, I will. So I do believe that it's 11 minutes and 54 seconds. Jesus.
You know what?
Anyways, I think that there's a soundbite in here as well.
Okay.
From Lindsay Jones, right?
I'm not sure. I haven't had time to even. I think so. But Charmaine, I'm just going to quickly go to the washroom and give the toilet a drink. And I'm just going to grab a glass of water because I'm really hot right now. So go ahead. I can sit on my computer.
Oh, I can start then?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay. All right, guys. So I'm going to what I'm going to do first is I'm going to play the sound bite, and then I'll start reading the article. Yeah. What? There's no sound. Well, for Pete's sake, just a minute. I didn't know that there was going to be no sound. I don't want to. I will give it a shot. to use my audio because I think I figured out the guest echo thing, but it's a different setting on my mic. So if that's the case, then it's not picking up the sound through my mic. So we'll for Pete's sake, we'll try it this way. Hopefully it works. Let me know if it's trash.
Raise your voice for them. I didn't feel like I owed anyone an explanation.
I can hear it just fine, Charmaine.
Parents told me, which was to stay out of the media and the public eye. But as time goes on, it just feels too long, and we still don't have any answers. So I just want to scream their names to the world, and that we're still looking for them, and we want them home, and we'll do anything to get them back home. This is a tough question, and you don't have to answer, but does it occur to you ever that maybe Jack and Lily met foul play? No. All I think is positive, because it's the only thing that helps me cope and helps me to get out of bed every morning, is to continuously be positive and know that they're coming home. It's just a matter of when. I feel more ready to speak out. I don't feel like I owe the public anything. If anything, I'm owed answers, and that's what I'm fighting for, is answers, and I will not give up until I have them. I just want my kids home. Why is it taking you until now to raise your voice for them? I didn't feel like...
Anyways, how nice. That was a nice little soundbite. Good job, Lindsay. Lindsay Jones, everybody. Woohoo.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just trying to...
Really foul play, but so then what does she think if somebody took them? Do they think that they're like, you know what? I just need 2 little sweet kids today. You know, what do you mean you don't believe in foul play?
Right, and that's kind of where I'm at too. So you don't know if they're in the woods. You believe they're still alive. You don't think it's criminal. You don't know about foul play. So what the fuck do you think? You have to have thoughts.
Thinking positive, Charmaine. Don't empty out my glass right now. I'm right with Maleyha on this one. My glass is all the way over the top positive. Okay.
Mine's fucking empty. Anyways. All right, you guys, I'm going to read this bad mamma jamma. I am not going to watch chat because I'm just not. This is 11 minutes long. My microphone is all kinds of messed up, so I'm trying not to drop it off its little holder thing. Should be. You ready? Let's go. The mother of Lily and Jack Sullivan, the 2 Nova Scotia children missing for more than a year, says she believes her kids are alive and that it's possible they were snatched off their backcountry property. That would be criminal, Maleyha.
Foul play.
Maleyha Brooks. What?
Foul play. Yeah. Go on. My bad.
It says your browser lost. Whatever. It said I lost connectivity to my browser, so if something happens, you have to. Whatever. Maleyha Brooks Murray sat down for an interview with the Globe and Mail and the CBC late last month. Her first public comment since the early days, day 2, after her children's mysterious disappearance. The case of the missing children has confounded the RCMP and led to widespread speculation and finger pointing, both locally and in the wooded hamlets and industrial towns of Pictou County, across the country, and on Facebook and YouTube channels in the online true crime community around the globe. Much of that conjecture and blame has been directed at the children's mother. I would argue that's not quite accurate, who moved away from the remote settlement of Lansdowne the day after Jack and Lily went missing. She has never returned to the trailer where they lived. In the wide-ranging interview, The 28-year-old Miss Brooks Murray defended her silence over the past 15 months and demanded answers from police about her missing children. At the end of the day, the accusations, I can't let them bother me because I know the truth, that I would never do anything to harm my children and that I love them very much and that I want nothing more than for them to come home, she said. And so, I mean, people can take it how they want, but their opinions don't matter. What matters is getting them home. Miss Brooks Murray, speaking in a soft and sometimes halting voice, said she hasn't spoken out until now because the police had told her that talking to the media could jeopardize the case. But as time goes on, it just feels too long, and we still don't have any answers, so I just want to scream their names to the world. She said she has cooperated with the police and done everything they've asked her to do, including taking 2 polygraph tests. She says she still trusts the RCMP, but has become frustrated with the lack of answers and dwindling communication from investigators. I keep asking for new avenues, and they keep saying we're working on it. And I just don't feel like it's enough. She said, I feel like I deserve more than that, and I deserve answers on where they're at, and I need them home. Nova Scotia RCMP major crime investigators declined an interview and did not respond to an email questions about the case. However, a spokesperson did say that specialized teams have been engaged in detailed police work over the past 15 months and that investigators remain committed to establishing with certainty what happened to the children. As with any ongoing investigation, many of the investigative steps being taken and the progress being made can't be shared publicly, Alison Gerard said. Miss Brooks Murray's recollection of May 2nd, 2025, when she reported her children missing, was the same as what she and her now ex-partner Daniel Martell told the police in the early days of the investigation, accounts that have appeared in court documents and have been previously reported by the Globe and others. In a somber voice, she spoke of hearing Lily, who was 6, and Jack, who was 4, laughing in their shared bedroom, and said she saw Lily pop into the bedroom where she was dozing with Mr. Martell and their infant daughter. Court documents show that she told police it was about 8:20 a.m., a couple of hours after she had marked them absent from school for the second day in a row because she said they had coughs. Speaking of which, one moment, please. The next thing she says she remembered was waking up, seeing Daniel next to me, and I didn't hear them. And I woke Daniel up and said, I don't hear the kids. So we both went out, and that's when we started looking for them. She told police that this was at 9:40 a.m., according to court documents. Around 10 a.m., Miss Brooks Murray called 911 and reported that her children were missing and that their boots were gone. She said she has trouble remembering the next few hours. The trauma is so severe to the point where I block it out because it's hard to sit with. I just don't know how it even happened. What's it? That morning and over the following hours and weeks, teams of volunteers, helicopters, sniffer dogs, and divers scoured the dense forest, swamps, and waterways. The only potential clues were a smattering of boot prints that police later found to be from the same type of boot that Lily wore, and a pink blanket that was Lily's, found strewn on a tree a kilometer from the home. During the interview, Miss Brooks Murray said the pink blanket was actually a strip torn off a larger blanket that had been in the garbage. The strip, she said, had been hanging on a railing outside the front porch. I don't even know how it got there, she said, referring to where it was found up the road. Miss Brooks Murray defended her decision to leave Lansdowne on May 3rd, the day after Jack and Lily were reported missing, and offered a few reasons for why she felt compelled to move away from the property during the search. She said she had a panic attack at the command post set up for the search during the police briefing, and while sitting in the back of an ambulance, She told her mother she wanted to leave with her. The police had said that we should go, and told my family privately to take me out of there. I was in too much of a state of shock that I just wanted to be with my family and my daughter, so we got out of there and the police met us back at Mom's. When asked why she hasn't gone back to Lansdowne, she said, "I don't think I can touch on that right now." Miss Brooks Murray declined to discuss what life was like inside the trailer or any details about her former relationship with Mr. Martell, who she blocked from communication the day after Jack and Lily disappeared. Police documents filed in court paint a picture of a strained relationship and financial difficulties. Miss Brooks Murray told the police in the early days of the investigation that Mr. Martell was at times physically violent with her in the home, though he has denied this. At the time of the children's disappearance, Mr. Martell told police that the two had been fighting about money. He also acknowledged in an interview with the Globe that he used drugs, including methamphetamine. Their home life had also been assessed by a provincial child protection social worker several months before their disappearance, around the same time Jack went to school with a black eye. In late January, Mr. Martell was charged with sexual assault, forcible confinement, and assault against a woman in Lansdowne. Her identity is protected by a publication ban. In the interview, Miss Brooks Murray said she no longer believes that her children could be lost in the woods, nor does it ever cross her mind that her children came to harm on the property or that they met foul play, she said. "All I think is positive because it's the only thing that helps me cope, helps me get out of bed every morning, is to be continuously positive, and I know that they're coming home. It's just a matter of when." To her, this leaves only one possible theory. "The only thing I can assume is someone took them," she said, "but for what reason, I don't know." She said she is disappointed that on the day Lily were reported missing, police ignored her request for an Amber Alert and public emergency notification for abducted children. Instead, the RCMP issued a vulnerable missing persons alert. Police have repeatedly said that they have no evidence of an abduction. At a press conference this past spring, RCMP Staff Sergeant Rob McCammon, acting officer in charge of major crime and behavioral sciences in the province, said all possible scenarios related to the disappearance of the children are under consideration. He said the chances of Jack and Lily being alive are very slim. In the woods, that people just leave that out. If they're still in the woods, the chances that they're alive are slim. Japers. Pisses me off. Miss Brooks Murray says the police have told her that she's not considered a suspect in the case, nor are there any of her family members. Court documents say she was found to be truthful in her first polygraph. She was found to be truthful when answering redacted in her first polygraph. She said the question was about whether she killed Jack and Lily. She said she recently did a second polygraph and the police later told her she passed. The question in the second polygraph was focused on whether she put Jack and Lily in a vehicle, she said. The RCMP declined to verify any of this. At this stage of the ongoing investigation, all information that can be released publicly has been shared. Mr. Martell did not respond to a request for comment, but in early January told the Globe that he had nothing to do with Jack and Lily's disappearance. "I will happily say that because I believe the kids are 100% alive, and I will always believe that," he said. The case has ignited a furor on social media among self-styled true crime commentators who, often anonymously, peddle misinformation and attacks. It is on these sites where Mr. Martell and some of his family members have suggested that Miss Brooks Murray had something to do with the disappearance of her children. She says she doesn't even look at the theories and accusations that can be found online. "I honestly don't know what to say because we are in the same bed that night, so I don't know why they would make up stories." Recently, she walked in a Canada Day parade in the town of Westville, 15 minutes from Lansdowne, handing out Jack and Lily keychains and holding a handmade neon sign that said, Jack and Lily help bring them home. I just held my breath and kept looking straight and telling myself I'm doing this for them, to keep their faces out there, to know we're still looking for them and that we're not giving up. She said what she misses the most is tucking her children into bed at night, along with their laughter, their smiles, their hugs, their smells. They were both mama's kids. She said they loved their mom. She lives in a 1-bedroom apartment with 2 recently adopted cats in Indian Brook, a part of the Shubi First Nation. She takes medication to help her sleep, attends therapy sessions, and spends as much time as she can with her youngest daughter. Next month, she said she plans to start studying to become an addictions counselor, something she said she has long wanted to do. She envisions Jack and Lily wherever they are together and being well looked after. She has hung on to their things, small runners with Lily S. written on the side, her rainbow bedazzled bike helmet, and white worn stuffed unicorn, Jack's dirt-encrusted sneakers, and his blue and green toy brontosaurus. She says her bedroom is full of the children's missed milestones, Easter baskets, Valentine's, Christmas, and birthday gifts for them to open when they get home. And I continue to get more because it helps me cope.
And everything.
What do you think of that, Sunny?
Pretty much the same stuff we already listened to. Maybe, maybe the question about what was the question she didn't answer and stuff like that. I don't know. Honestly, Charmaine, I was listening to you read it. It was going in one ear and out the next. To be honest, because to me it was just the same stuff that we heard in the interview. Pretty much. Was anything that stood out to you a little bit different? Obviously, there was a few things in there.
I don't think so. Like it seemed more to me like Lindsay was present when Angela was doing her interview and just took notes and maybe asked a couple of things after the fact. You know what I mean? It was pretty much the same, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what it felt like, really, to be honest with you. But thanks for reading all that. The addictions counselor, well, she couldn't do anything for Daniel there, did she?
Oh, and I mean, she wasn't trained. Listen. When it comes to bettering yourself and going to school and going through therapy and all the rest of it, I'm all for it. And I hope nothing but the best. However, you still have 2 missing children. And although it's good that you're working on yourself to get your youngest daughter back or whatever, your 2 older children are still missing. And they deserve just as much time and effort publicly. Just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, Daniel or Maleyha don't deserve these children at all.
And let's just be real. In my opinion, like, I don't know, obviously, but I think that if Jack and Lily walk through the door tomorrow, I don't think that Maleyha would just automatically get them back.
Oh, heck no. Oh,
you know what I mean?
Oh, heck no. Not from everything we've learned. And, like I said, you can't shine shit, and Jack and Lily's environment was not a healthy environment. And, that's been shown over and over again, whether it's been by the school and, CPS stuff and all that, no drugs. Maleyha note said, according to Haley, that, Daniel's been doing drugs since the birth of Meadow, which obviously we know that it's way long before that. But again, she put herself in this whole situation. I feel bad in a little bit that I just don't give a flying fuck about these 2. I just don't. All I think about is about Jack and Lily and the answers that are still yet to come. And I just, under normal circumstances, I would, if I really felt truthfulness was coming from all this, I'd be like, you know what, Daniel, be the better person. Maleyha, be a better person. Work hard to do what you need to do to get your children back. I don't want to see, either of these two. Too many inconsistencies, too much bullshit in this whole, time and stuff like that. And nothing has changed my mind what I think about this case. And my heart just simply goes out to Jack and Lily in all of this, not them, you know. But if it wasn't, if we took Jack and Lily out of the equation and we were talking about two people, yeah, I would want the best in that for them. Right now, I just don't give a shit about their traumas or emotions and what they're going through, because they're the root cause, regardless out of all of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wouldn't it be convenient if we all believe what Maleyha does? No need to worry. They're together, well taken care of. I mean, is that the goal? Like, are we just supposed to think, oh, okay? And I mean, to Darren as well. Like, I watched Hidden in the Fog's little, clip or whatever from her live, and then she did a video, and it doesn't sound so off the wall anymore. There are a couple of things I'm not going to talk about here today, but is that kind of the goal for these people? Do they want us to just say, oh, well, okay, then the kids are just not here. We should just be okay with it then. Like, is that what the distraction campaign is about? Just a matter of getting people just to stop, just to know that they're alive, they're okay, they're being taken care of, and it's a jurisdictional issue, whatever. Is that the point? Because I can't for the life of me figure out why anybody would want to not advocate for the children. If you're claiming that you think that they're still alive, or you're 100%. And I mean, honestly, at this point too, Daniel Martell, I'm looking at you too, because it's okay that you're not out here talking to me or anybody else or this or that, but you also have a social media. You post pictures of yourself and your daughter.
yeah,
Is there a reason why you can't post a missing persons poster? People see that. They're going to share that. And same with Maleyha. You don't got to do all this YouTube shit. You don't.
well, that was just it too. I was going to say, back when you were talking about that, same thing with Daniel. Like, Maleyha is obviously the mother, and that's who you look for to especially put postings about her children on the social medias. Daniel, give him just a little bit of slack, but the same thing applies too. If you're out there advocating and you want the truth to be told, why aren't you putting up, everything you can to do with Jack and Lily on Facebook? Remember, because if it's not on Facebook, it's not true. So it blows me away. I just couldn't imagine. No, I guess I could imagine if I felt like if the people on the property and that were being very truthful. So I can imagine it, and I can imagine it like, Barry Morphew's daughter and different things, when they're not doing the things that we are expecting them to do. But that tells me that's because, when people do things and they don't know how to do things, because, it's not like I sit here and go, oh yeah, this, Daniel's done this a million times before, and, stuff like that. And Maleyha, I just think that when people when it's natural, typically we see the right things happen for people that are actively advocating for their children and missing children. But when I feel like people are being distruthful, of course, then I think that this is what I see. And this is why I feel like it all just no tears, inconsistencies, covering up for each other in this timeline. I don't know. We obviously don't know what happened to Jack and Lily, so we can't sit there and say that Daniel and Maleyha, for sure did something to him, or say that they literally murdered Jack and Lily. But we can certainly give our thoughts about what we think about this case because of the actions we've seen, and to go with the grain of salt of what is really typical. I mean, just, Charmaine, ask AI. It will tell you. I told AI, I haven't read it, but I told it to analyze the interview with Maleyha and with the red flags and stuff like that. I haven't had time to fully read what AI was telling me, though. you know. And as for Derwood, I forgot about his name, to be honest with you.
I'm trying my best to catch up in chat, but I feel like it's like too far gone. You know?
That's right, helicopter grandma. That's what I'm at. Same shit, different day. You know, maybe a different pile, but it's the same shit in a sense. And you know, I can never not be honest with how I feel. How I feel doesn't mean it's 100% true, accurate. No, it's just how I'm seeing it. You know.
Yeah, and I mean that it's refreshing sometimes because when we're here on a normal day and there's nothing to talk about, we're tiptoeing around shit. We're trying to be very gentle and you know, non-accusatory and I because I literally have no idea what happened to Jack and Lily. I am not convinced of any one person having involvement or being completely innocent. I truly don't know. But the stuff that I am sure of is that they were neglected on May 2nd, 2025. Had any of them gotten up, the kids wouldn't be missing.
Absolutely.
And well, they might not have the children, but they certainly wouldn't be missing vaporized for well over a year now. And when you have the mom who
Doesn't know what's happening.
vamoosed day 2 and then just decides to show back up in day 465, and I truly don't know what the expectation was, that we were all going to watch the other channel before Sunny and I came live, and we were like, oh, I get it. That makes sense. Oh, poor Maleyha. No, I mean, that's not the way it works. So if it was a little bit cruel and unusual today, like, so be it. It is what it is.
Yeah, and honestly, like I said, you know, if it's not about children, but again, if I feel like there's genuineness to the person and stuff like that, you know, I'll stand behind them. Absolutely. But this case has lacked anything, you know, all but that stuff. It's all just been a roller coaster ride of information, pulling teeth. When you're telling the truth, it stays the same pretty much. And again, regardless, most people are fighting for the same thing. All I see now is just a bunch of people like, you know, threatening a bunch of lawsuits and crap like that on each other. You know, who gives a shit? People have the right to say what they want, in a sense. And if they're crossing boundaries and borderlines and stuff like that, you know, where they're literally all and out saying that, you know, Daniel Maleyha absolutely killed the kids and blah, 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 and stuff like that. You know, let those people be held accountable for those words and stuff. Everyone has a right to their opinion and say what they want, but to sit there and keep, you know, having these attacks, you know, from the Maleyha bench side, and you know, it's like a stupid game, and stupid people win stupid prizes, you know, with that shit. But the thing is that again, then it loses the focus about Jack and Lily. So yeah, we're allowed to talk about a case. Yeah, we're allowed to give our thoughts. Yeah, we're allowed to give our perception of what we're seeing and stuff like that. Yeah, I can sit there and say stuff about Maleyha and Daniel and whatever and whoever else I want to, if I want, because I have that right to give my opinion about this case, you know. But it's just the fact of all these stupid threats and all these what are they called? What do you keep getting? What are those things that you got? Those
Cease and desist.
And
the highest number of cease and desists on YouTube.
You know, one of these days I'm going to show a damn screenshot, and then people from her corner can shut the fuck up. Seriously, and stop sitting there making it about, oh, this person said this on this channel, and you know, as if people don't have a right to be upset and angry, you know, for the fight for voices for Jack and Lily. You know, it's just beyond me to see what I said. You know, I've stayed away from most of it, but I've seen some, because it really just is, you know, sad, pathetic, you know, just some of the stuff that's being talked about, you know, the stupid threats and stuff, you know, whatever. And yet really it should be about people are allowed to have voices, people are allowed to have their channels, people are allowed to have their opinions. We don't have to agree with them, we don't have to agree with each other, but at the end of the day, we're trying to root for answers for Jack and Lily. And whether or not Maleyha or Daniel had anything to do with it, or some suspicious vehicle came into the property and took them and all that stuff, that just remains to be seen. But looking at the facts, looking at what the statistics are and stuff like that, we are not off on some weird ass trail in this. And until Jack and Lily do have answers, it's going to be a lot of BS in between, downtime when there's no information coming out and stuff like that. But people stay in your damn own lanes, right? Worry about what you're doing instead of what others are doing and how they're doing it, and
That's
stuff
right.
like that.
If we're literally going to say, talking about certain things that go on in the case, or certain things that Daniel has said or Maleyha has said, or blah, 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 that is literally talking about Jack and Lily's disappearance. And I will be the first to admit that when you have a live stream with a number of different topics, it's unfortunate that sometimes Jack and Lily might get lost in the other topics. But like, I decided that if I decide ever again, which I might, I can't say no because you never know what's going to come up. But if I do decide to address bullshit again, then it's going to be a standalone live stream. And then so when people come in and say, well, I can't believe you creators are using Jack and Lily for this infighting. Like, no, it's a separate thing. It's no different than if I'm talking about Darius and then decide to move over and talk about Jack and Lily in the same live stream. You know what I mean? It's not the same thing. It's not the same topic. It's just not the same thing. And what goes on other people's channels, I don't give a shit. I don't. And I would prefer if my name stays out of other channels completely. And usually I look the other way, but sometimes I won't.
Yeah, monsters, to be honest, yeah, we all have a right to say defend ourselves. But honestly, being in the true crime world for years, and Charmaine for years and stuff like that, honestly, it's laughable to me. So for instance, if Shenanigans wants to bring me up and talk about me on her live, and if there is something I want to speak out and correct, I will. But as for joining in the whole drama side of it, it's honestly boring and it's not even worth it. Because it does take away from the focus of that, and it just really shows those, like, who people are when they want to keep doing that. I played that game back in the Delphi days and stuff, and I know that people were like, yeah, Sonny, need to rip a new one out of a new asshole, basically, out of Shanann and stuff like that. Could have cared less, really. Could have cared less about that, because it's like, yeah, I could have. The old Sonny would have been like, yeah, go at it. But, honestly, it just fuels a fire. And like I said, so if, say, perhaps she does talk about me in life, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I know who I am as a person. I'm strong enough. I'm not to be ever bullied around and all that crap. Because when you do things from your heart and the true reasons why you're doing it, and my most thing that I do like to talk about is what the family members have said, what Daniel has said, what Maleyha is saying, what Haley has said and stuff like that, because all you're looking for is some truthfulness. But I just really am at the point, and it doesn't matter if Maleyha is speaking or not. Hey, Maleyha, thank you for gracing us with your presence on an interview. Maybe you'll do 10 more. And up until RCMP give us answers for Jack and Lily, ain't gonna believe any of what comes out of their mouth, because they've shown that you don't know what to believe. You don't know what they're saying is truthful and what's actually legit and what's BS. And when you have all these conflicting things throughout this case of what they're saying and contradictories and stuff like that, again, you just throw your hands up in the air and go, Jesus, take the wheel. Well, RCMP in this case, and you just got to bide the time praying for answers for Jack and Lily.
People are basically begging you to show your screenshots, Sonny. I mean, you should do your own live stream. You have a lot to tell. You really do.
I'll think about that one. It does really, piss me off when you see some of this crap, just, coming, like I said, if people want to support Maleyha or Daniel, or anyone else, Janie, whoever, absolutely go ahead. You have your right. If you're a channel that wants to do that, go ahead. You have your right and stuff like that. But what gets me is these fucking hypocrites that sit there and I know damn well I have a screenshot. I know damn well I have more. And these same people that are acting like putting Maleyha on a pedestal, well, like I said, if you saw the screenshot, trust me, certain person, you'd be ducking your freaking face right now for that particular post, and I might ever show it one day. I'm not there yet, but if it gets there, I will. Just to show you who your friends are, Maleyha. Who are you? But the thing is that it's only really because it's not like, this isn't about Maleyha. In a sense, this isn't about Daniel. The RCMP will do what they need to do with them and all that stuff. It's just about trying to get truth about Jack and Lily. But at this point in the case, and it's been for a long time, you don't believe anything. So Maleyha's words are empty. They're hollow. There's no tears, because, again, for the people that want to believe her, go right ahead. I'm just here simply for Jack and Lily, and just to keep talking about them or being a voice. I will do some more lives, you guys. My brother-in-law, he goes back to England on Friday, and then I get my freaking ass space back. I get my, no offense there, Ryan, but I get my fucking balcony back. I get where my computer was before. I don't know that I'll put my computer back there, but anyway,
I just had to run to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Yeah. But anyway, so and on the days that I have off, I've had to do stuff with my husband, and he's got a lot of stuff going on as well. And you guys know, but anyway, I want to thank you guys for anyone that did watch the videos that I was just kind of posting because I was bored as fuck when I was at my twin's house. Not that I was bored as fuck, but I just mean like my twin had contractors coming in and out. My husband was working every day on projects at my sister, and that's the reason why we had gone up to Cochrane. It just happened to be our birthday as well as mine and my husband's anniversary. And then my niece Haley had her daughter there on July 7th, so another cancer baby. And then I got to see Charmaine on the way back down, which was great. We stayed the night, left early. Her family was out there. So, so it's not like I got to spend a lot of time. Like, I got to spend time, but Charmaine had her sister and her husband and the children, and they're so cute. And Harley, he was just adorable. Harley, like, a few times, like, just so lovable. And especially, like I said, a couple of the kids that were, especially one that was kind of attaching to me there. I love children. And so my anger comes from, obviously, any cases that have anything to do with children have my heart. And yeah, when I don't see truth happening, fuck the parents. It's Jack and Lily. They deserve the answers. I don't want to hear about Maleyha's owed or she doesn't owe us. She absolutely does, but whatever, do what you do. And if you look bad doing it, then that's on you guys. But just please, at some point, RCMP, bring us the answers for Jack and Lily. Bring some closure to this poor case. And yeah, thanks for the people that did watch it. Me and my husband would do some and stuff like that. But anyways, so yeah, so while my husband was doing that, so it's not like I went there and I had this vacation where we went to, the lake and did all different things. I was basically sitting in a chair and I was just sitting there going, taking little videos, the ones that you can upload. And there was a ton of videos that I couldn't upload because of the reception through the mountains and stuff like that. But on the way back, because we stayed at Charmaine's, it kind of cut out the longness of the 11-hour drive. It was about 5.5 hours, I think, to Charmaine's from Cochrane and stuff like that. But yeah, so which reminds me, you guys, my twin sister, she's been posting some videos on her channel, which is Home Creations. When I do my next live, I'll post it because she's been posting. But her last one was funny, Charmaine. it was called, I think, something like the honey-do list. She said, I don't have a honey to do, so I used my twin sister's honey. And then she started with showing that wall, the brick wall that Steve did and stuff like that. But anyways, so yeah, I was just posting videos. So whoever watched them. And, it was my thing to do while I was bored as all that stuff was going on.
I actually watched them too. I quite enjoyed your road trip videos as well.
Yeah, I had so many more to post, and I didn't care if people were watching them or not. For the people that follow the channel and just were enjoying the scenery, it's such a beautiful drive. It is a gorgeous drive, and the ice caps, and a video can never truly capture the beauty when you're driving through it all, but it's just an absolutely gorgeous drive. And the old way to go to say Calgary would have the other tunnels, a Boston Bar and all those different ones. This one had some tunnels, and I showed those too, but the old way was freaking a lot scarier. The old number one, and then they put in the Coquihalla there and stuff. But, I'm so glad, though, you guys. And I want to say, please, you guys, give prayers. And, for anyone that say donated in their different ways to all the fires of, that are happening in Summerland, West Kelowna. Just horrific. Charmaine, how much, can I ask you? How much are you getting of the smoke and the smell?
We're socked right in. The smell isn't too. The smell first thing in the morning is horrendous. But the smoke, we've been socked in for days and days. And it's really I don't want to complain too much because we're not on fire here, but when you've got 34-degree heat and the smoke covering the sun, it's so, it's terrible. It is terrible. You don't want to go outside. It's horrible.
Well, I was going to say, Sherman, because usually we don't get impacted down here in the Lower Mainland very often when it comes to these fires. We got a little bit for 2 days. And I just remember going, holy shit, that moon is orange. And then, because I'm thinking it was the moon, because you know how the moon and the sun can be up. So I'm like, holy shit. I'm going to work and it's orange. And I'm like, that's like a blood orange. And so there was a couple days where the sun, where we had the overcast. It was supposed to be sunny days, but they ended up being more overcast because of the smoke. Yesterday, when I left work, I was like, what's that smell? I was like, it's I think we're getting the smell of the fires down here, because it really smelled like a campfire type of smell. And so although we don't get impacted as much as you would, I do worry about where Ian has built that home, on the top of the mountain there. And if a forest fire were to happen, has there been any fires at all in that area?
They don't really come that close up here. I'm sure at some point there was, but the thing is, we're so high up. We're at least 2 to 3 degrees cooler up here than anywhere else down below, and we're still green and lush up here. It's not as bad. Having said that, we are surrounded by forest, right? But the other thing, yes, there's a lot of wood inside the house, and the posts outside are wood, but everything else, you guys, is concrete and metal. It's not exactly flammable. So I was worried about it, especially Ian was away working, and I was really, really worried about it. And he's like, you know what? Don't even worry about it. If there's a fire, just pack up what you need, take Harley and go. Just, And
Yeah.
I mean, as it is, I put a post out for Vernon, and Vernon and South. We have room. We have room for campers, pets. We could probably find room for livestock out here.
You
Like if you're,
certainly do.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like just it's. I feel safe up here, even though there's so much smoke. Like so
Right.
much smoke.
I remember when me and my husband were driving there, we were too busy looking at like this egg sign about eggs. And
Yeah.
then it was like, oh, I think we passed it. And so
Hmm.
yeah, so we ended up having to turn around. And then it was like when you're talking about up at the freaking hill, that was like a 8-minute drive
Yeah.
just to get to your place from the bottom of the hill. It was faster going down. It felt like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
And like the thing is, like, this is what I told my kids the first time they were coming up here. I was like, just when you think that you've gone just about far enough to say fuck people,
yeah,
turn left and keep going for another 2-3 minutes, and then
yeah,
you're there.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
we are literally just cut out of the top of the mountain, away from everybody and everything. And takes me, I'm not lying, it is a 23-minute drive to the nearest Tim Hortons
Yeah,
one way. So, I mean,
yeah. And I didn't think it would take that long because Charmaine a lot of times will have like a Timmy's,
mhm.
and I'm just like, oh, it must be just, like about 5 or 10 minutes away.
No,
Nope.
nope,
Nope.
nope.
Yeah.
I'm out there, and that's why, like, if it's like we had a pretty good windstorm here a couple of weeks ago, and I'm pretty sure my satellite got jolted just a little bit.
Oh,
And so I have to have, because the house is so large, our internet is up here, but being down in the suite, I had to buy like an extender, like a Wi-Fi extender that
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
connected to down there. But it
yeah.
started glitching all the time. That was one of the reasons why I was
Oh,
so in such a hurry to move up here, because my
right.
router now is right beside me, and I
Okay.
haven't had the lag that I was having. But
Yeah. Are you
yeah,
hardwired in? Are you hardwired in?
no,
Or are you just running off Wi-Fi?
like I
Well, I
probably
guess it's
could at this
Wi-Fi.
point, but just Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
But I'm not staying here. I'm moving. I'm moving into
Which
one of
bedroom?
I think the first one, because that's the one that I don't have the bed in.
Right.
Because I just don't feel like when I move my king bed up here, I'm thinking about taking that queen one and putting it down in
King
the
bed.
suite. And then, yeah,
Fuck, I'd love a king bed again. I slept in a king bed once, and my husband's like, "Get over here! I need to take a taxi to get to you." And I'm
yeah,
like, "I know, you loving it, you know?"
whatever. It's awesome. But do you remember looking in that master bedroom, right? And
Yeah,
there's a
yeah,
queen size bed in there, and it's so big in there you don't even notice the bed that's in
yeah.
there. I need my king size bed in there.
Lynn said something about a bear. Did you see a bear recently?
Yeah, actually, so 2 weeks ago when I was driving home, just at the bottom of the first hill, there was a black bear running from our side of the property across the road. And so I was like, holy shit, and that freaked me out. And of course, Harley was losing his shit, but then it kind of died off. And then 2 days ago, one of Ian's truck drivers is staying downstairs. And when he got home from work, he was like, just so you know, I just saw a bear cub run across the road, and he like described it the same place I saw the other bear. So I'm like, okay, so now we're talking about like a mama bear and at least one cub. So that's terrifying. Yeah. Just
Somebody
black bears though. So
I was gonna only because I've been watching like at nighttime. I've been watching a lot of funny things that animals do, like,
mhm.
and a lot of them, of course, have the bears. And there's some people that are literally like they come out of their garage and they're going, "Get on out of here!" You kidding? I'd be freaking hightailing it so fast up my freaking floors in that
Mhm.
place. I just some people like they're shitting. Obviously, one guy went to go open up his trunk and there's a
Yeah.
bear. It's amazing how much these bears can open up doors on
Yeah.
vehicles if
It's
you leave them open. But
terrifying if you think about it. Like I look at my doors downstairs and I'm like,
yeah,
if a bear pushed hard enough on that, you can't tell me a bear's not getting in here.
right,
You
right.
know,
I'm sorry,
like,
but yeah, that's been my biggest fear,
mm,
because back in the day when I was with my ex and me and Matthew and some friends, were riding up to Crystal Falls in Coquitlam. And
Mhm.
all of a sudden, like I said, we're riding and I look and I did a double take and I'm like, it's a fucking bear. And I'm like,
Mhm.
pedal, right? And so I can't help it. So whenever like the woods now honestly scare me about bears being in them because I never used to think about it before.
Wow.
And then once you see it, and then you all of a sudden realize, right, we're freaking right in their nature and shit, you know. And a lot of them, you know, like I said, you're kind of, especially when you build homes on mountains and that you're in their territory. This was
Absolutely.
right, and so
Absolutely. And then like this time of night, like I have to make sure Harley can't get outside because he goes wild because all you hear is coyotes like screaming at each other and
yeah,
it sounds like you're surrounded and he just,
yeah.
yeah, it's
Or little
scary.
froggies. Yeah. Big yard or, you know, big property up there. Um,
Mhm.
you know, Charmaine took us on the tour while we were there. You know, big home, lots of bedrooms, you know,
Mhm.
nice home. It's just a matter of, I guess, just, you know, when it's going to be completed finally, you know, and that you can fully, you know, relax properly with everything, you know, getting in its place and stuff like that. And,
Yeah.
you know, yeah.
It's mostly just the outside, the landscaping now, getting that in order, but you know.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, right. I know it's time to go, guys, and you know, like I said, my brother-in-law he leaves on Friday for England, and then I'm into my night shifts. To be honest with you, so definitely I'll try to do some more lives and stuff like that. But I've been postponing it because usually on the days I have off, I've had to go either to the doctors or grocery shopping and stuff. Then I get, or me and my husband have simply gone down to Derby and just spent the time having a picnic. You know, it's just kind of like summer, you know, summertime for,
Yeah.
you
It's
know,
good
go
though.
away.
It's good though that because you've been doing this for a very long time and for a
Yeah,
very long time you were doing this every single day, so it's good that you have the opportunity to spend time with your husband and got to visit your sister and actually take a vacation
mm,
the first time in, you know, however long. So
yeah. I
I
just, you
think
know, yeah, I don't definitely don't want people to think I've given up on Jack and Lily and stuff. And I know Belinda's been doing lives and stuff like that. Like when I talked to Belinda last, I remember asking her if she wanted to do a live. I can't remember at what point. And she wasn't sure if she was going to do lives, but I'm glad that she has been. And I'm glad that she's been actually, she was on with you. She was been on Hidden in the Fog. I'm not sure if there's been anybody else and stuff like that.
Justin, she went on with Justin
Did she
actually.
go on Justin's?
Yeah, I didn't get to watch
Nice.
it, but I did hear that she was on with Justin. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'll have to watch that one.
She is literally working to keep the conversation going, and you have to
Yeah.
respect that. So,
Well, and that's just it, right? So for anyone to block Belinda and stuff like that, again, that's just so ridiculous. Again, because people can have their, you know, like I said, why are people have to keep bringing such crap into this case about a content creator and what they're doing and this and that and blah 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 blah. You know, like who cares? Take it on the
yeah.
chin. Ignore it. And you know what I mean? If people want, like I said, if people want to post content at me, don't give a fuck. You know, if I'm so important in your life that you want to talk about me and stuff like that, again, if I want to speak the truth, I'll just come out and say it myself. Like I said, I'm not here to play stupid games with all this bullshit with Jack and Lily's case. But I'm glad Belinda has been doing that because when
Hmm.
she said that she wasn't sure, you know, because of the attacks and stuff like that, kind of like with Haley, you know, after a while the attacks get very old and stuff like that. But so Belinda at the time wasn't sure if she was, you know, she just
Hmm.
needed time, obviously. But you know how it is. She always comes back like a fighter. But I'm glad that she's doing it, talking on different channels and keeping Jack and Lily's voice out there. Because I know for me, like I said, you know, I've been taking quite a few breaks here lately and stuff like that. And you know, Belinda's there to still carry on her fight for Jack and Lily and be voice, and you have been and stuff like that too. Yeah,
Hmm.
it was enjoyable meeting your sister and that while they were there, by the way, and those little kids, those sweet, because it was three. You know what? Sadly though,
They're 4.
Lacey, there was four, right? Okay, there was four. Shit,
Yeah, but I think that the baby was,
the
I think
baby.
Connor,
That's why.
yeah, Connor wasn't
Right.
around a whole lot. He was mostly inside, I think.
Yeah. You know how hard it is for me. I'm not going to lie, Charmaine. Um, what? Sorry, just remind me. Was it Lacey? No, the little girl, the little one that was talking with me, or
That's
playing
Layla, the one that was
Layla.
attached to you. That's Layla.
Layla. Like
Yeah.
honestly, if I could just sit there and take that child home and just be like, snatch mine, you know,
Yeah,
just
she's so
just
cute.
so darn adorable. Oh, they all were, but
Hmm.
Layla, when they're a certain age, that one always gets up my heart. It just reminds me of my own son when he was like 2, going, "What's that? What's
Yeah.
that?" And
Yeah.
everything is just so innocent as they're
Hmm.
just wanting to learn things, right? And
Hmm.
that's how I see still Jack and Lily.
Yeah.
Or any children. They're just trying to. They should be here. They should be around playing. Having their little arguments or playing it with their tonkas or whatever it is, and stuff like that. So it's
That's
it's
right.
just so hard to stare at these smiling little faces, and
Hmm.
it's just any parent, any person with a heart, it just cracks at you. It hurts to the core, even if they're not your children. It doesn't matter. It's just
Yeah.
about the situation and what's
Yeah.
happening. Yeah. But anyways, you guys, um,
Yeah. Wrapping
just
up Malaya Monday. That's a good one, Amy. Thanks everybody for being here. I did not get a chance to hit chat as much as I normally do, and I'll have
yeah.
to look into that whole thing. Next time we do this, Sonny, it has to be on yours, and I'll just go in on yours.
Well, I'm wondering if is that the issue is what's create like I don't understand like is that what's I should be able if I'm got a seat and I come in, I should be able to click on these comments because like I seen Tom Lou make a comment saying like about certain comments are being put up and other ones aren't, but honestly, Charmaine, is when you're running a channel, it's hard to keep, do everything. But so
Yeah.
I was trying to click on some of the comments and the different things, but it's not allowing me. And I'm like, okay, is it because we're dual streaming? But you've dual streamed with Melissa before, correct?
Hmm. Yeah.
And
Yeah, you bet.
has she been able to put up the comments as well?
I think
Because
so.
so that's what I'm wondering, and that's why I'm like I don't get that. Like Charmaine, when you're with me in my channel though, right? Like
Yeah.
even I am in your channel, but we're dual streaming. Um, because I couldn't, like I said, I'm just getting the whatever. But if you were just in my channel, you would be able to click the comments, But have you been able
It's
to do that
weird.
when we've dual streamed?
I'm sure I
I
have.
know.
I know that I can't enter chat when I'm streaming from yours. I can't
Mm,
chat.
I can't. Well, I mean, I can chat
Um,
in yours, no problem.
It's weird. I
Yeah,
don't
anyways,
know.
whatever. Whatever. Either way. So thank you to all the people that did do donations tonight for Charmaine's
Hmm.
channel and
Oh,
Jules and a couple for my channel here. Um, I do apologize, Charmaine, for not doing a live with you when I wanted to when we got back. I just wasn't up for it, honestly.
it's all good.
You know. But thanks everybody. I can't click on any of you, but
It's all
thanks.
good. And like I said, I'm sorry, you guys. And Sunny she'll do a live soon, and we'll get back to reading your comments. Congratulations, Darlene Langley. Sunny, I'm going to be a grandmother again next month.
Oh, nice. I know. You know.
Mhm.
It really sucked. I was a grandma and then that was taken away from me. But now my twin, because my twin was like, how did you beat me? I got 4 children. But this is when
Hmm.
my son was told he was the father until
Right.
he got some sort of disease, because she's cheating. And then he did a DNA test. And then that grandma status was taken away and he's no longer with her. But my twin now got the granddaughter, and she's so cute.
Yeah.
Redhead meets an Indian guy.
Mhm.
I'm curious to see what what's her name again? Ruhani, Stelina, or Gargu or something. I can't remember.
I can't remember.
It will be curious to see what my redheaded niece and an East Indian dude combined into this child will look like. He's so nice, by the way. My niece's husband there, just a really nice guy, dude.
It's probably going to be a very beautiful young lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mixes are always a good look, mixes and children and stuff. So, but it's because she's a redhead like Ronald McDonald, right? So we'll just see. We'll see what all features start coming out and stuff like that. Anyways, nice being with you. All right.
Yes. Thank you, Sunny, for being here. Love you too. And thank you, everybody, for being here. I'm going to go ahead and end it. I am exhausted. Have a good night.
Have a good night, guys. Bye.